Chapter 2941 The Ancient Kingdom, the Lord of the Ancient Kingdom. Yi Tian tried to break through again, but he still couldn't break through the shackles. This shackle seemed impossible to break through, and it was useless to hit it countless times. If you can't break through even 70% of eternity to Tao, let alone break through to eternity to Tao state. Yi Tian murmured, at present, the only places related to the eternal supreme Tao realm are the ancient abyss realm and the valley of myths, but the ancient abyss realm will come to the void realm, and it is impossible to count on the ancient abyss realm for the time being. Then, only the valley of myths remains. The mythical spirit in the valley of myths is suspected to be comparable to the eternal supreme Tao realm, but in fact it may not have reached the eternal supreme Tao realm. Perhaps with my current strength, with multiple duplicate bodies and some innate original treasures, it is possible to hold back that mythical spirit. Took a while to spy on the situation of the mythical spirit's territory. Yi Tian thought to himself. He didn't know what the success rate would be, but at least he could give it a try. So, this day, each of Yi Tian's 7 duplicate bodies carried a large number of innate treasures, and the abilities of these innate treasures were all developed by him, Song, in order to hold back the mythical spirit Sun. Valley of Myths, the territory of the strongest mythical spirit. Yi Tian entered here, and the mythical spirit was dispatched immediately. Boom! The opponent's eyes contained terrifying power, and they directly bombarded him with the power of the eyes. But this time, Yi Tian resisted. Kill. The 6 duplicated bodies burned their lives to drive the eternal Taoist body, and the 100% perfect eternal sequence to the Tao rule was suppressed, and each piece of innate original treasure was activated. In an instant, the mythical spirit was trapped. Boom! The hands of the mythical spirit kept hitting, and every attack cracked Yi Tian's body, shattering each piece of innate treasure. The power gap is still too big. However, at this time, Yi Tian's 7th duplicate body directly broke into the opponent's territory lair. Soon, he saw a mythical spirit. The energy contained in it was terrifying, far surpassing other mythological spirits. Good things, take them away. After Yi Tian took away this innate spiritual object, he also found a high-quality eternal sequence supreme Tao rule item, and took it away as well. At this moment, Yi Tian also saw dense cracks in the lair of the mythical spirit, and the aura spreading from the cracks was very strange. Could it be that these cracks are passages to go beyond the imaginary domain? Yi Tian was curious. Before he had time to think, his other cloned bodies could hardly bear it anymore. Forget it, just go and have a look, the big deal is to lose this duplicate body. Boom! Yi Tian went into one of the cracks. Immediately, he used the eternal sequence to protect himself. Passing through the crack is like passing through a space channel, and the terrifying space force bombards his body, which is blocked by his eternal body and the rules of the eternal sequence. After an unknown amount of time, he finally came out of the crack. This is where Yi Tian came to a strange ruin, without any living beings around. He tried to connect with the duplicated body in the imaginary domain, and he could, but it took a while, and his perception was extremely vague. It's fine if you can get in touch, Yi Tian secretly thought. The other side, Yi Tian's 6 duplicate bodies began to evacuate, otherwise, if they all fell, those innate treasures would be lost, and the loss would be huge. Fortunately, his life-saving ability is not bad. He retreated while fighting, and successfully exited the territory of the mythical spirit, keeping those innate original treasures. Subsequently, Yi Tian began to explore this unknown mysterious place. Let's explore the surrounding area first. Yi Tian first copied a duplicate body, and then let the duplicate body restrain its breath and explore the surroundings. He began to be cautious. After all, this is an unknown place, and he might encounter the existence of the eternal realm. Judging from the personality of this piece of heaven and earth, it should be higher than the imaginary domain, but not too much higher, at most 1 grade. But even if it is only 1 level higher, the powerhouses here will be much higher. There will definitely be existences in the eternal realm, and even there will be many, many powerhouses in the eternal realm. Time flies. Not long after, Yi Tian finally saw a city. This city is very large, and there are many large formations. These large formations contain the rules of the eternal sequence to the Tao, and at least they are arranged by the eternal to the Taoist. After observing for a while, Yi Tian entered the city after feeling that there was no danger. There is a powerful formation in this city, which can suppress his strength, and the space here is very strong. Even if it is a mythical realm, it is difficult to cause huge damage. After Yi Tian came in, he found that there are many legends and even mythical realms, but there are very few strong people who are eternal and Daoized. Of course, there are also weak and extremely Tao realm creatures here, all doing some chores and so on. In addition, there are different races here, so he entered here without attracting any attention. The city was named Ancient Luocheng. Yi Tian stayed in Ancient Luocheng for a period of time, listening to the conversations of other strong men, and gradually got to know it. The Ancient Luocheng belonged to the Ancient Kingdom, and the most powerful existence in the Ancient Kingdom was the Ancient King. In addition, there is a kind of currency prevailing here, August coin, which is refined by using a special metal, coupled with the rules of the eternal sequence. One ancient coin can buy Daddy's treasure. And under the ancient coins, there are various currencies that can be converted with the ancient coins. Of course, powerhouses at the level of mythology to Tao realm naturally use ancient coins. Yi Tian took out some resources on his body and exchanged them for some ancient coins, otherwise there was no way to buy anything here. Yi Tian bought a piece of information after having the ancient coins. This piece of information includes information on the major treasures of the ancient kingdom, information on the major forces, and information on the strong. It is very detailed and worth 2 ancient coins. After Yi Tian browsed this document, he finally got to know about the ancient kingdom. According to the information that Yi Tian has now, after the mythology reaches the Tao state, there is the eternal to the Taoization, and the eternal to the Taoization is divided into the early stage, the middle stage and the late stage. And after eternal to Tao transformation, it is eternal to Tao realm. For example, in the ancient kingdom, there are many existences in the eternal realm, and the master of the ancient kingdom is the top existence in the eternal realm, and the strength is chosen to be the super master. The lord of the ancient kingdom and the lord of Qingyuan should both be the lord of the same country. Yi Tian secretly thought. Chapter 2942 Eternal to Tao Transformation Secret Art, Light of Luoxia. Regardless of the strength of the Aogu and Qingyuan lords, it has nothing to do with Yi Tian. Now he just wants to break through the eternity to Taoization to more than 70% of the realm, and then seek the inheritance knowledge of a higher realm. Ancient Luocheng. Yi Tian spent 100 ancient coins in a shop this day to buy a simple inheritance knowledge, which involves some secret knowledge of eternal to Tao and eternal to Tao realm. At least he can't go wrong. But such knowledge can be replicated, so it is not expensive. After obtaining this inherited knowledge, Yi Tian finally knew that he could not break through to 70% eternity and Taoization. It's not that he is not talented, nor is he lacking in resources, but that he lacks the eternal supreme Tao transformation secret art. The eternal sequence to Tao transformation secret technique is a secret technique that requires the eternal sequence to Tao rule to be practiced. That is to say, without understanding the eternal sequence to Tao rule, there is no way to break through to the 70% eternal to Tao state. Therefore, in the ancient kingdom, many eternal to Tao transformations are in the middle stage, unable to enter the later stage, that is, unable to comprehend the rules of eternal sequence to Tao. In the ancient kingdom, the items of the eternal sequence supreme Tao rule are also the supreme treasures that they dream of and cannot obtain. I have comprehended the rules of the eternal sequence supreme Tao, and even comprehended the 100% realm. Now I only lack the secret art of eternal supreme Tao transformation. Yi Tian murmured. But obviously, any kind of eternal to Tao transformation secret art 477 is extremely expensive. He went to all the shops and inquired, but none of the shops sold eternal to Tao transformation secret art. The main reason is that the forces that control the eternal to Tao secret art will keep it strictly confidential, and even if they obtain the eternal to Tao secret art, they will make an oath. Therefore, the secret art of eternity to Taoism has not been handed down. Every faction has its own eternal to Tao transformation secret art. If you want to obtain eternal to Tao transformation, you must join these forces, and then serve them for endless years before you can hope to obtain eternal to Tao transformation secret art. If the secret art of eternity to Taoism spreads, how can these forces recruit the strong? In the ancient country, the easiest place to obtain the eternal Tao transformation secret technique is undoubtedly the Aogu army. As long as you join the Austrian army and serve the 10 billion Supreme Tao era, you will definitely be able to obtain a copy of the Eternal Supreme Tao Transformation Secret Art. Even without any credit. However, after joining the Austrian army, one must take an oath to serve and never betray the Austrian lord. The Eternal Supreme Taoist who yearns for freedom naturally does not want to join the ancient army. Moreover, even if you join the Aogu army and obtain the Eternal to Tao secret art, if you cannot comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence to Tao, you still cannot break through to the late stage of eternal to Tao. Yi Tian inquired about the recruitment conditions of the major forces in the ancient kingdom. Almost all of them need to take an oath of service and require a long period of allegiance before they can obtain the eternal supreme Tao transformation secret art. Forget it, these forces are unreliable, it is too troublesome and a waste of time to obtain the eternal Tao transformation secret art from them. Yi Tian chose to give up. He looked to see if there was any declining power, but he had the eternal Tao transformation secret art in his hand. In this case, the chances of obtaining the eternal supreme Tao transformation secret art would be much higher. As a result, he really found such a momentum. Open black lens bracket Luoxia court close black lens bracket. A long time ago, this force was considered a very powerful force. It had 1 eternal to Tao realm and more than 10 eternal to Tao late-stage powerhouses. However, an accident caused the eternal to Tao realm in Luoxia Pavilion to fall. It's gone, and several strong people from eternity to the late stage of Taoization have fallen. After that, a strong man from eternity to the late stage of Taoization chose to leave. At present, there is only one strong person left in Luoxia Pavilion from eternity to the late stage of Taoism, and more than a dozen strong people from eternity to the early and middle stage of Taoism, and their power has been greatly weakened. More importantly, Luoxia Pavilion is now in crisis and is in danger of being destroyed. Therefore, Luoxia Pavilion is also recruiting the strong to survive the crisis, and the rewards paid include the Eternal Supreme Tao Transformation Secret Art. However, the hostile forces in Luoxia Pavilion are also uttering dangerous words, so there are very few Eternal and Taoist experts who are willing to join Luoxia Pavilion. Join Luoxia Pavilion first, Yi Tian decided. Because Luoxia Pavilion is to join, it will give Eternal to Tao Transformation Secret Art, and it is not acceptable to join other forces. Luoxia Pavilion is located in Luotian City in the Ancient Kingdom. Yi Tian rushed from the ancient Luokung to Luotian City, and arrived at the headquarters of Luoxia Pavilion. Yi Tian will join Luoxia Pavilion as soon as he enters the headquarters of Luoxia Pavilion. Luoxia Pavilion, deep in the headquarters. A woman is going through the procedures for Yi Tian to join Luoxia Pavilion. Yi Tian, from eternity to the middle stage of Taoism, are you sure you want to join Luoxia Pavilion? This woman is Luo Wushuang, the pavilion owner of Luoxia Pavilion, and also the daughter of the previous pavilion owner, eternal to the middle stage of Taoism. Yes, but I hope that after joining Luoxia Pavilion, I can obtain the Eternal Supreme Tao Transformation Secret Technique. Yi Tian said. Yes, Luo Wushuang agreed. However, after joining Luoxia Pavilion, you are not allowed to leave for 100 million Supreme Tao era, and the Eternal Supreme Tao secret technique you have obtained is only allowed to be comprehended by yourself, not to be passed on. A vow is required. Can, Yi Tian replied. After confirming that it was correct, Yi Tian signed an oath agreement with Luoxia Pavilion. In this way, Yi Tian successfully joined Luoxia Pavilion. Yi Tian, this is our Luoxia Pavilion's Eternal Supreme Tao Transformation Secret Art, Luoxia's Light. If you make an oath, you can get this inheritance. Yi Tian made an oath, and then accepted the inheritance of Luoxia's Light. Soon, he obtained the Light of Luoxia. After obtaining this inheritance, Yi Tian knew that with the Light of Luoxia, it is very easy to perform Eternal to Tao Transformation, to become the early stage of Eternal to Tao Transformation, and it is also easy to become the middle stage of Eternal to Tao Transformation. Like Yi Tian, the first elder, and the first demon venerable, they all relied on mythical spirits to forcibly transform themselves into eternal Taoism. This is a waste of resources and slow inefficiency. For example, the first elder, it took a long time to reach the eternal perfection of 30% realm. But in fact, which force is willing to pay such a high price? And with the Eternal to Tao Transformation Secret Art, you can save 10 times or even more resources. It would be great if I could obtain the Eternal and Supreme Tao Transformation Secret Technique like the Light of Luoxia sooner. Yi Tian murmured. Subsequently, he comprehended the Light of Luoxia in Luoxia Pavilion, and practiced it very easily. Next, he needs to use the Light of Luoxia to break through his bottleneck and break through to the realm of eternity to the late stage of Taoism. Chapter 2943 80% of eternity reaches Taoism, and the strength soars. Buzz. The eternal sequence Supreme Tao rules are superimposed in the form of Luoxia's light, gradually forming a special light. In an instant, countless Luoxia lights merged into Yi Tian's body. At this time, he took out a mythical spiritual object and used the light of Luoxia to refine it, so as to transform it from eternity to Taoism. Click. The shackles in the dark were shattered by the light of Luoxia. His Eternal to Tao transformation progressed quickly, and he easily completed the Eternal to Tao transformation to 70% realm. It seems that there is only a little difference between 69% Eternal to Taoism and 70% Eternal to Taoism, but there is a big gap. Now, Yi Tian's body seems to be getting stronger and stronger, as if a transformation has ushered in, and the body of 18 kinds of Zeon myths has gradually merged by 50%, which is a real transformation. Soon, Yi Tian was completely stabilized at the level of Kichung Eternity to Taoization. The strength has skyrocketed. Yi Tian was excited. Obtaining Luoxia's light, the eternal supreme Tao transformation secret art this time, is simply a huge profit. The strength has skyrocketed. Together with my several cloned bodies, I am afraid that they are not weaker than the strongest mythical spirit at the Valley of Mythology. Yi Tian thought to himself. Valley of Myths. Yi Tian's duplicate bodies have been changed again, and they have become 70% eternal to the realm of Taoism. Immediately afterwards, he went to provoke the mythical spirit again. Boom! Yi Tian mobilized a piece of innate treasures to fight this mythical spirit. This time, Yi Tian was not injured, instead he kept fighting on equal footing, not weakening the opponent at all. Sure enough, after my strength has skyrocketed, if I unite and use these innate treasures, my combat power will be enough to rival the opponent. Yi Tian thought excitedly. However, it is just a match, it is impossible to kill the opponent. Ha ha ha, now I have the secret technique of the eternal to Tao of Luoxia's light, and I have a lot of mythical spirits, I can definitely upgrade the eternal to Tao easily. Even if it reaches 70% of the eternal to Tao after that, it will be more difficult to improve, but it will definitely not be too slow. Once I reach 100% eternal to Tao, I have hope to hit the eternal Tao realm, Yi Yingxi said. But, he still has to stay in Luoxia Pavilion for 100 million years from eternity to Tao era, unless Luoxia Pavilion takes the initiative to cancel the contract oath with him, he can leave early. We still have to help Luoxia Pavilion resolve the crisis. Yi Tian murmured. Currently, there is only one real crisis in Luoxia Pavilion, the Quanghe Chamber of Commerce. This force is in a hostile relationship with Luoxia Pavilion. It is everywhere suppressing Luoxia Pavilion's business and assassinating Luoxia Pavilion. Now, in Luoxia Pavilion, from mythology to Taoism, eternity to Taoism, almost all are bound by oaths, and cannot leave, otherwise they would have run away long ago. The Quanghe Chamber of Commerce is very powerful. It has 1 eternal to Tao realm, 6 eternal to Tao late-stage powerhouses, and more than 60 eternal to Tao early and mid-stage powerhouses. There are even more mythical Tao realms below. Compared with today's Quanghe Chamber of Commerce, Luoxia Pavilion is like an ant. However, the headquarters of Luoxia Pavilion is located in Luotian City, and the original owner of Luoxia Pavilion was the city lord of Luotian City. Now, although the owner of Luotian City is someone else, he still gives Luoxia Pavilion a little care, so as not to let the Quangfeng Merchant Guild the Strong obliterated it in the city. Therefore, Luoxia Pavilion will linger on. In addition to the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce, there are many forces that are eager to obtain the Luoxia light of Luoxia Pavilion and some resources, but these forces are not too powerful to be feared. Yi Tian doesn't pay attention to the 6 eternal to Tao late-stage powerhouses of the Storm Chamber of Commerce. What he fears is the eternal to Tao realm powerhouse. He doesn't know the strength of the other party. However, there is a high probability that he is not an opponent, except that he will continue to improve from eternity to Taoism. Don't worry about that much, let's use Luoxia's light to upgrade eternity to Taoism. Yi Tian thought to himself. Time flies. Another million years of the Tao era have passed. With the assistance of pieces of mythical spirits and the light of Luoxia, Yi Tian's progress was too fast, and now he has reached the realm of eternity to 80% of Taoism. The reason why he has improved so fast is mainly because his Luoxia light is so effective, far surpassing other people's Luoxia light. After all, his eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule has reached 100% perfection, and Luoxia's light is the application of the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule. If the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule is strong, Luoxia's light is naturally extremely powerful. 0. Seeking flowers. During this period of time, Yi Tian had nothing to do in Luoxia Pavilion, except to occasionally maintain the order of Luoxia Pavilion in Luotian City. At present, the business of Luoxia Pavilion is only Luotian City. This day, Luo Wuxuang, the owner of Luoxia Pavilion, came to find Yi Tian. Yi Tian, you have joined Luoxia Pavilion for 1,000,000 years. You have not had any tasks before, but now there is an important task for you. You need to go to Xuanline Valley to guard for a period of time. Luo Wuxuang Road. Xuanline Valley. Yi Tian knew where this place was. He once bought a map of the ancient kingdom, which recorded a large number of treasures, including Xuanline Valley. Xuanline Valley has a mine of Xuanwu stone, and Xuanwu stone can be extracted to produce Xuanwu gold, which is the material for making ancient coins. 0. Xuanwu gold can not only be used to make ancient coins, but also can be used to refine the eternal supreme Tao divine weapon, but Xuanmai gold is only a material. If one really wanted to refine an eternal supreme Tao divine weapon, the materials consumed would be unimaginable. And Luoxia Pavilion used to have an eternal supreme Tao divine weapon, but with the fall of the eternal supreme Tao realm, that eternal supreme Tao divine weapon was naturally lost, otherwise someone from the eternal supreme Tao realm would have come to snatch it. Okay, I promise, Yi Tian said. Luo Wuxuang was a little surprised, she thought Yi Tian was going to refuse. Immediately, Yi Tian took Luo Wuxuang's warrant and went to Xuanline Valley. After Yi Tian left, an old man appeared beside Luo Wuxuang. Grandfather, Luo Wuxuang shouted respectfully. The old man is indeed Luo Wuxuang's grandfather, the only eternal and late Taoist in Luoxia Pavilion, Xinghai. Cough cough cough, Xinghai coughed a few times. For a strong person from eternity to the late stage of Taoization, it is impossible to cough, which is a manifestation of the uncontrollable injury. Seeing this, Luo Wuxuang worried, Grandfather, are you all right? It's okay, Xinghai shook his head, I know my injury well. Although it can't be cured, it won't kill me. However, you really don't worry about letting an eternal supreme Tao who just joined Luoxia Pavilion not long ago transform the strong to guard the Xuanline Valley. That is the last property of our Xuanline Pavilion. Chapter 2944 Xuanline Valley, Xuanwu Stone. Xuanline Valley is the last property of Luoxia Pavilion, Luo Wuxuang doesn't know it. However, there was nothing she could do. Grandfather, it's too dangerous to guard Xuanline Valley. Relying on Xuanline Valley's formation, although it can resist the eternal to Taoist powerhouses, it can't resist for too long. The Storm Chamber of Commerce has not yet attacked Xuanline Valley, just worried that other forces will intervene, so that Xuanline Valley will fall into the hands of other forces, but they will do it sooner or later. Therefore, other eternal to Taoist powerhouses are not willing to guard at all. Now the time is up for the eternal to Taoist strongman guarding Xuanline Valley, he will definitely leave, and there is nothing I can do about it. Luo Wuxuang said helplessly. It's a pity that my injury is too serious, otherwise I can try to attack the eternal realm. Xing Heidao, Grandfather, it's all my fault. If I didn't let you find your father's body, you wouldn't have been seriously injured. Luo Wuxuang said regretfully. I can't blame you, I can only blame my lack of strength. But the news of my injury will sooner or later be known to the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce. Once they know, they will destroy Luoxia Pavilion at all costs. Xinghai said. Now, with the rules of the ancient kingdom, the eternal Tao realm is not allowed to attack the weak at will, unless the weak take the initiative to provoke. Therefore, in the case that the eternal to Tao realm of the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce was unable to do anything, several eternal to Tao late-stage powerhouses of the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce were still extremely afraid of Xinghai, but Xinghai had no fighting power now. But this news, the Galawan Chamber of Commerce is still unclear. Grandfather, I will find a way to heal your injury. Luo Wuxuang said, that was me who was injured by the eternal supreme Tao realm, and it was the eternal supreme Tao realm outside the ancient kingdom. There is no way to sanction him. The other party's attack is very strange. Even if it is an eternal supreme Tao realm, it is difficult to heal my wound. Hurt. Xinghai said without hope. Xuanline Valley. It took Yi Tian a while to get here. As soon as he entered Xuanline Valley, a strong man from eternity to the early stage of Taoism appeared, handed over to Yi Tian, and the other party left directly, looking very urgent. Yi Tian also understands that the other party is guarding here and has been worried all the time. He probably doesn't even dare to practice, and his mental state is tense, and he is probably about to collapse. Now, there is an eternal and Taoist powerhouse to replace him, so he will naturally run away. Xuanline Valley has many top-notch formations, and there are also a group of mythical realms digging ore veins. Use mythology to mine in Tao realm. Yi Tian was also very surprised. Any one of the mythical supreme Tao realm is a veteran in the virtual domain, but he did not expect to mine here. Why is the Mystic Mist Stone so difficult to mine? Yi Tian walked into the Mystic Mist Stone vein and soon understood. The output of Xuanwu Stone is very small, and the mining process will cause the energy of Xuanwu Stone to leak out. A trace of Xuanwu's power can't even withstand the legend to the Tao realm, and it will be killed directly, and only the myth to the Tao realm to be able to bear it. In addition, The Xuanwu stone veins form a special field, which greatly suppresses the strength of the mythology to the Tao realm and even the eternity to the Taoization, and the veins here are extremely tough. Very time-consuming. Although the mining of eternal to Tao will be much faster, there is no way to compare the efficiency of mining with a group of myths to Tao. Besides, eternal to Daohua powerhouses don't want to waste time mining. Xuanwu stone is a good thing, but I can't take it. Yi Tian secretly thought, every time a piece of this mysterious mist stone is dug out, it must be recorded, and the formation here also has a recording function, which will be passed back to the headquarters of Luoxia Pavilion. If he was greedy for these Xuanwu stones, he would undoubtedly offend Luoxia Pavilion. Although no one in Luoxia Pavilion can be his opponent now, he will not do this, and he has made an oath. Certainly, it is also beneficial to guard the Xuanline Valley, and 1% of the Xuanwu stone will be shared, which is also one of the benefits. The years that followed, Yi Tian guarded Xuanline Valley obediently. A period of time has passed. The ancient kingdom, the headquarters of the Storm Chamber of Commerce. At this time, a strong man from eternity to the late stage of Taoization is discussing about Luoxia Pavilion. Everyone, Xuanlingu in Luoxia Pavilion has changed to Eternal Daohua, who is a new Eternal Daohua who joined Luodian Pavilion. Ha ha ha, Luoxia Pavilion really has no strong people to use. Even the newly added Eternal Daohua dares to use the last property, but it also shows that Luoxia Pavilion really has no extra power. And, that guess it might be true. Xinghai was really hit hard. It's very likely that Xinghai hasn't shown up in the Dao era for 300 million years. Even if Luoxia Pavilion is in a difficult situation now, it's Luo Wushwang who is handling things. Do you want to try it out? You can try it out. If Xinghai is really badly injured and we attack Xuanline Valley, he will never dare to come. Of course, we must also guard against other forces getting involved. Say hello to other forces. Whoever dares to participate will be a gust of wind with us. The Chamber of Commerce is immortal. Whoever is going to attack Xuanline Valley, the formation there is good, it is arranged in the Eternal to Tao realm, even if it is the late stage of Eternal to Taoization, it will be a bit troublesome. Let me go, and take the formation-breaking magic weapon of our Blast Wind Chamber of Commerce, the Mad Fog Hammer, which is also a semi-eternal magic weapon. With my strength, it won't be long before I can break through the Xuanrong formation. Okay, then let Wulin go. Subsequently, the Blizzard Chamber of Commerce is eternal until the late stage of Taoization. Wu Lun, the strong man, went to Xuanline Valley. Not long, Wulin has already arrived at Xuanline Valley. Xuanline Valley, what a great place, it will soon belong to our Storm Chamber of Commerce. Yulin said excitedly. Boom, the frenzied fog hammer emerged, covered with the power of the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule. Immediately, he slammed into Xuanline Valley's formation with a round of ruthlessness. Boom, the Xuanline Valley formation was so smashed, and it began to tremble by 1.7. Luotian City, Luo Wushwang and Xinghai received the message from the Xuanline Valley formation, and a picture emerged. Not good, the Galawind Chamber of Commerce has taken action against Xuanline Valley. Luo Wushwang said in despair. The last property can't be kept. Without this last piece of property, Luoxia Pavilion would not even be able to pay the basic salaries of its members. If the salary is in arrears, the oath contract will automatically become invalid, and those who are eternal to Daohua and mythical to Daojing can choose to leave. At that time, Luoxia Pavilion will really exist in name only. At this time, inside Xuanline Valley, Yi Tian opened his eyes and looked at Wulin outside. From eternity to the late stage of Taoization, court death. With a movement of Yi Tian's figure, he came to the outside of Xuanline Valley. Chapter 2945 Killing Wulin in seconds, Luo Wushwang was shocked. Seeing Yi Tian coming out, Wu Lun sneered. Hey, if you hide inside Xuanline Valley, activate the formation, and persist for a while, maybe Luoxia Pavilion will desperately come to rescue. But now, you are courting death. Wu Lun directly attacked Yi Tian. However, Yi Tian exploded with strength directly, and his cultivation could no longer be hidden. The eruption of the 80% realm of eternity in Taoism has shocked Wu Lun. But Yi Tian's body of eternal supreme Tao was too terrifying, and the terrifying breath made Yulin tremble all over. The eternal sequence of the 100% perfect state pervades the rules of Tao. Yi Tian stretched out his hand and grasped it, and Yulin's body was frozen. The next moment, bang, Wu Lun's body exploded, turned into blood mist and dissipated, and fell completely to death. Too weak, Yi Tian murmured. When Wu Lun attacked, he saw through Sharon's bottom. Only one top mythical body has been cultivated, and no other mythical bodies have been superimposed, so the combat power is naturally not strong. It can be said that Yulin may not be able to defeat the first demon. After all, the first demon has superimposed 11 kinds of powerful mythical bodies, so the progress of eternal to Tao transformation is much less than that of Yulin, but the eternal sequence to the realm of Tao rules is similar. Originally, he thought that the eternal supreme Tao of the ancient kingdom was very powerful, but now it seems that this is not the case. However, it is also right to think about it carefully. It is relatively easy to cultivate in the ancient kingdom, but how much resources will be spent if you take the road of being strong to the road or the road of superimposing the mythical body? In such a selfish ancient country, which force would cultivate talents in this way? Unless it is a descendant of a certain eternal Tao realm, it will be cultivated in this way. But Wu Lun has no background, so he is naturally taking the ordinary path. It is very good to be able to reach the end of eternity and comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence to the end of Tao, and break through to the late stage of eternity. Perhaps the eternal realm of the ancient kingdom is not necessarily stronger than I imagined, and it may be at the level of the mythical spirit in the Valley of Myths. Yi Tian thought to himself. If this is the case, then the mere Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce is nothing to worry about. But he killed Yulin, and his strength must have been exposed. If his guess is not wrong, Luo Wuxuang probably will come to talk to him soon. Luoxia Pavilion Headquarters. Through the formation, Luo Wuxuang also saw the scene of Yi Tian beheading Wu Lun, and was shocked for a moment. Instacle Wulin, what kind of strength is this? Frost said in shock. Such an eternal and Taoist powerhouse actually joined the Luoxia Pavilion, what is the reason for this? Is there anything in Luoxia Pavilion that the other party should be afraid of? If it was said that the other party sincerely joined Luoxia Pavilion, he would definitely not believe it. Xuanline Valley. Luo Wuxuang passed through the formation, and the projection descended here. Yi Tian, thank you for saving Xuanline Valley. Luo Wuxuang first thanked. Pavilion Master, you are being polite, I am just doing my duty. Yi Tian said. Afterwards, Luo Wuxuang asked. Yi Tian, I'm curious, why did you join our Luoxia Pavilion with your strength? She knew it was presumptuous to ask, but she had to. Yi Tian smiled and said. Simple, for the sake of Luoxia's light, I don't have the secret art of eternal to Tao transformation, and I have been stuck at 69% of the progress of eternal to Tao transformation. Other forces have too high requirements, and it is not easy to obtain eternal to Tao transformation secret art, and only Luoxia Pavilion will give eternal to Tao transformation secret art. That's it. Luo Wuxuang couldn't believe it. That's it. Yi Tian nodded affirmatively. However, Luo Wuxuang did not believe that such a monstrous powerhouse as Yi Tian would not have the secret technique of eternal supreme Tao, unless Yi Tian came from a certain top power, and that power was destroyed, and Yi Tian had not had time to practice eternal supreme Tao secret technique. Then he hid in Tibet until he couldn't make any progress in his cultivation, and then he planned to plan for the eternal Tao to transform the secret. In this way, it is more reasonable. Certainly, Luo Wuxuang didn't continue to ask. Yi Tian gave this reason, and she had to believe it if she didn't believe it. Yi Tian, I want to know if you can help us deal with the Galoan Chamber of Commerce. Luo Wuxuang asked. Deal with the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce. Yi Tian said. The Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce has an eternal supreme Tao realm, I can't deal with an eternal supreme Tao realm. Yi Tian, you don't need to deal with the eternal Tao realm. The ancient kingdom has regulations. The eternal Tao realm is not allowed to deal with strong people below the eternal Tao realm. Once found, they will be punished. Unless you actively provoke the eternal Tao realm, then be free from punishment. Luo Wuxuang said. Yi Tian smiled and said, I don't believe in any rules. If eternal Tao realm assassinates you, even if you are really dead, who will investigate? Luo Wuxuang had nothing to say. Indeed, if he really fell, no one would offend an eternal realm. At this time, Luo Wuxuang said again, Yi Tian, if you help us solve the troubles of the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce, the agreement you signed with us will be automatically cancelled. In addition, you can truly obtain the eternal and Daoized light of Luoxia. Quote. Really get? Yi Tian asked. What does this mean? Luo Wuxuang said. It means that the inheritance is directly given to you, you can pass it on, and you can even sell it. This is the most valuable item in our Luoxia Pavilion. Okay, I agree, Yi Tian said immediately. If the light of Luoxia can be taught, it will be too important to the human race. He is unable to impart the light of Luoxia to the human race now because of the oath. If it is allowed to teach, he he can give the light of Luoxia to the people, and he can definitely cultivate many eternal to Taoist powerhouses, and he can also quickly upgrade his wife and children to the middle stage of eternal to Taoism. For the sake of Luoxia's light, he is willing to offend the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce. Very good, Luo Wushwang said excitedly. How to deal with the Galawind Chamber of Commerce? Yi Tian asked. Luo Wushwang revealed his plan. Yi Tian, your strength is very strong, you can easily capture those strong players from the eternal to late stage of the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce. We can force the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce to sign a contract agreement, not allowing them to deal with Luoxia Pavilion and sending back the treasure land resources they robbed. In this way, the problem will be solved. Okay, do it, Yi Tian nodded. Next, Luoxia Pavilion began to plan. At the same time, the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce also knew about the fall of Yulin. Chapter 2946 The Lord of the Storm comes, negotiate in person. The headquarters of the Storm Chamber of Commerce. The 5 powerhouses from eternity to the late stage of Taoism were extremely angry when they knew that Yulin had fallen. Yulin is dead. There is no news about Wu Lun. How he died is still unclear. There is a high probability that it has something to do with Xinghai. Xinghai, it shouldn't be him. According to the information, he doesn't seem to have left Luotian City. Oh, that's 1,000 others. Go to Xuanline Valley to check. If it is really done by other forces, you must notify the president. Okay, let's go and have a look together, and stay with some more members from eternity to Taoization. Subsequently, a group of eternal and Taoist experts went to Xuanline Valley from the headquarters of the Storm Chamber of Commerce to investigate information. And this is exactly the scene that Luoxia Pavilion is looking forward to. Xuanline Valley. Many eternal to Tao transformation powerhouses from the Blastwind Merchant Guild came, and prepared to fight one by one, and explored the surrounding void to prevent eternal to Tao transformation powerhouses from other forces from ambush here. But nothing is seen. Let's break through the Xuanline Valley formation first, and then the Luoxia Pavilion stationed here must know Tian Ku. Just when they were about to attack the Xuanline Valley formation, Yi Tian appeared and attacked directly. Boom! Yi Tian directly used the Eternal Sequence to Tao rule to display the Eternal Sequence to Tao supernatural power, and the dense threads of the Eternal Sequence to Tao rule turned into prisons one by one, restraining these Eternal Sequence to Tao powerhouses. They tried to break the shackles, but they couldn't shake them. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian held them with his right hand, directly pinching them in his hand, and then sealed them. This group of eternal to Taoist powerhouses is too weak. Yi Tian murmured. But at this moment, this group of eternal supreme Taoists from the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce was stunned. What's the situation? This is that they were sealed by an eternal and Taoist powerhouse without any resistance. Is this really the eternal supreme Tao transformation powerhouse? Could it be the eternal supreme Tao realm's existence in disguise? Pavilion Master, the eternal supreme Tao transformation powerhouses from the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce took the initiative to send them to your door, and they have all been captured. Yi Tian sent a message. Yi Tian, if you come back temporarily, Luotian City will be safe. If you stay in Xuanline Valley, I'm afraid that the Lord of the Stormy Wind Merchant Guild will personally attack and kill you. Luo Wushwang sent a message. It is good. Yi Tian nodded, and immediately led the group of eternal to Taoist experts from the Galawind Merchant Guild to Luotian City. Not long after, Yi Tian arrived in Luotian City. Afterwards, they imprisoned this group of eternal and Daoized powerhouses from the Blizzard Chamber of Commerce in the headquarters of Luoxia Pavilion, and notified the Chamber of Commerce. The headquarters of the Storm Chamber of Commerce. The Lord of the Storm, who had been retreating and cultivating for a long time, was furious when he got the news that his strong men were almost killed by a pot. A bunch of trash, unexpectedly caught by the Luoxia Pavilion that is about to be disbanded. The Lord of the Storm was extremely annoyed. He wished he could directly destroy Luoxia Pavilion, regardless of those trash. However, he had to manage. If you don't care about it, there will be no use of eternity to Tao to transform the strong in the late stage, and the news will spread, who is willing to join the Storm Chamber of Commerce, and even other strong players in the Storm Chamber of Commerce will choose to leave here. At that time, the Galawind Chamber of Commerce will have to disintegrate itself. Then, the Lord of the Storm came to Luotian City in person. When the Lord of the Storm descended on Luotian City, the projection of the Lord of Lushan City appeared. Brother Quangfeng, what are you doing in Luotian City? The Lord of Luotian asked. Golden Crane, I'm not here to make trouble. A group of eternal and Taoist powerhouses from my Blizzard Chamber of Commerce were arrested by Luoxia Pavilion. I'm here to negotiate, the Lord of Blizzard said. What? did Luoxia Pavilion capture the eternal supreme Taoists from your storm chamber of commerce, or a group of them? Jinhe, the lord of Luotian city, was extremely surprised. Could it be the other way around? But the aggressive appearance of the Lord of the Storm is obviously not a fake. Brother Quangfang, this is Luotian city. In short, don't mess around. After all, the order of King Aogu is here, otherwise I will directly report it. Luotian city Lord Jinhe said. Rest assured, the Lord of the Storm promised. Immediately, he directly entered Luotian city and came to Luoxia Pavilion. As soon as he entered the Luoxia Pavilion, the Lord of the Storm saw Luo Wushwang, Yi Tian, and Xinghai. He could tell that Bahai had created a lot. Moreover, with the strength of Xinghai, it is impossible to catch a strong man from the eternal to the late stage of Taoization from the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce. Then, his eyes focused on Yi Tian, who seemed to be covered with a mysterious veil, as if he couldn't see clearly no matter how he looked. This eternal to Tao late stage powerhouse is not simple, he should be the one who caught it. The Lord of the Storm guessed. I have seen the Lord of the Storm. Luo Wushwang and Xinghai said respectfully. Where are my men? Let them go. The Lord of the Storm said coldly. Luo Wushwang said. The Lord of the Storm, you can let them go, I need the Lord of the Storm to make an oath. From now on, the Storm Chamber of Commerce will not do anything that threatens our Luoxia Pavilion. Nor retaliation. In addition, the items and properties that the Storm Chamber of Commerce snatched from our Luoxia Pavilion need to be sent back. Quote. Why do you dare to negotiate with me? The Lord of the Storm roared. Your men are in our hands. Luo Wushwang said. The Lord of the Storm wished he could do it now, but after thinking about it carefully, it was still unnecessary. Once these immortals are killed, he will not be punished to death by the Lord, but he will definitely be sent there, and he will fall easily. Therefore, he cannot give other eternal realms the chance to impeach him. Okay, I agree, the Lord of the Blast Wind said. However, even if those properties are returned to you, you will not be able to keep them. We Blast Wind Chamber of Commerce will not trouble you, and other forces will not be polite. Then you don't have to worry about the Lord of the Storm. Luo Wushwang sneered. Immediately, they Didi Jiao began to sign the agreement oath. After the signing was completed. Only then did Luo Wushwang release the group of eternal to Daoized powerhouses and let them leave the headquarters of the Storm Chamber of Commerce. After those eternal and Taoist experts came back, the Lord of Stormy Wind asked, what's going on? You were caught by Luoxia Pavilion, what a waste. President, there is a very monstrous eternal to late Taoist powerhouse in Luoxia Pavilion. An eternal to Taoist late stage said. Immediately, he intercepted the original screen and projected chi. When the Lord of the Storm saw this battle scene, his expression changed. This strength is too strong, Luoxia Pavilion will definitely not be able to cultivate it. The Lord of the Storm frowned. He has never seen Yi Tian's real attack with all his strength, but the fighting power in the picture alone is not weaker than that of an eternal supreme Taoist. Even if he can't beat him, it is difficult for him to kill him. Chapter 2947 Gather the Ancient Coins, the Auction of the Ancient Capital. In the days that followed, the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce returned many resources and industries to Luoxia Pavilion one after another. And Luoxia Pavilion's move was to directly sell most of these industries, and all of them were sold at low prices to some forces that were not weaker than the Wind Chamber of Commerce. Doing this is also a helpless move, because Luoxia Pavilion is very clear that with their current strength, they can't hold it at all, and there is no strong person to guard these industries. If they take them back by force, they will only be taken away by other forces. Instead of this, why not sell it directly to a well-known faction in exchange for a lot of resources? After selling these properties, the wealth of Luoxia Pavilion skyrocketed. Luoxia Pavilion headquarters. The oath signed by Yi Tian and Luoxia Pavilion was cancelled by Luoxia Pavilion on its own initiative. Starting today, Yi Tian is no longer bound by the Luoxia Pavilion oath. Moreover, Luoxia Pavilion also completely gave Yi Tian the light of Luoxia, which is the kind that is not bound by the oath. In this way, Yi Tian can impart the light of Luoxia to the people. Yi Tian, will you leave Luoxia Pavilion next? Luo Wushwang asked nervously. In her heart, she naturally did not want Yi Tian to leave. After all, such a strong man sitting in Luoxia Pavilion will undoubtedly prevent Luoxia Pavilion from being threatened by other forces, and can solve many troubles. Once Yi Tian left, Luoxia Pavilion would remain the same as before, only with a little more wealth of 870, and without the big enemy like the Galawind Chamber of Commerce, but there might still be a second big enemy. Won't leave here for a while. Yi Tian said. Hearing such words, Luo Wushwang breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, Yi Tian didn't know where to go next, so he might as well stay in Luoxia Pavilion first. Even if Luoxia Pavilion is in decline, at least it is a place to stay, and through Luoxia Pavilion, some information can be obtained, the latest information and so on. Therefore, there is no need for him to leave Luray Pavilion. Human domain. Yi Tian called his wife and children over. Father, husband, they shouted. Yi Tian said, I have obtained a secret technique of eternal to Tao transformation, which can allow you to quickly perform eternal to Tao transformation, and I will pass it on to you now. Immediately, he directly taught them the light of Luoxia. After they got the light of Luoxia, they were very excited. With the light of Luoxia, at least they don't need to worry about progress before they become eternal to the late stage of Taoism. However, if you want to truly break through to the late stage of eternal to Tao, you need to understand the rules of eternal sequence to Tao. After all, if there is no eternal sequence to the rule of Tao, it is impossible to really use the light of Luoxia. In fact, before comprehending the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule, one can only simulate the Luoxia light in the first sequence Supreme Tao rule realm, which can exert about 1% of the Luoxia light's power. Of course, even if only 1% of the power is exerted, it will be many times faster than the usual practice of eternity to Taoism. If mythical spirits are added, the speed of cultivation will be even faster. After Xiao Yu, Yi Xingchen, and Yi Xingyu obtained the light of Luoxia, they went to practice. With the mythological spirits provided by Yi Tian, their cultivation progress will not be too slow. And Yi Tian is also working hard to practice. If there is no Luoxia light in the past, the mythical spirits he obtained may not be enough for him to cultivate to the realm of eternity to 100% Taoism, but now it is enough. Years passed, and before you knew it, millions of years from the Tao era had passed. At this time, Yi Tian's eternal to Tao transformation has already been promoted to the 90% realm, but after reaching the 90% realm, it will be a little difficult to improve. However, at most 10 million Supreme Tao era years have passed, and he is sure to be promoted to the 100% realm, and then he will have to attack the eternal Supreme Tao realm. Valley of Myths. After Yi Tian's strength soared, many cloned bodies were already sure to surround and kill this mythical spirit. However, he did not kill it. At the very least, it is still a qualified goalkeeper. In case any creatures from the ancient kingdom accidentally break into this place, at least the spirit of myth will kill them. Therefore, after Yi Tian beat up the mythical spirit, he didn't continue to attack it. Luoxia Court. At this time, Luo Wushwang was selling a large number of treasures and converting them into ancient coins, because a large auction was about to start. And in this auction, it is very likely that there will be treasures that heal Xinghai's injuries. Therefore, Luo Wushwang was prepared to bid for that treasure at all costs. And Yi Tian also knew about this auction from Luoxia Pavilion, and was also somewhat interested. But, Yi Tian doesn't have many ancient coins in his hand, so if he wants to participate in this auction, the ancient coins are not enough. Got to get some treasures. Yi Tian murmured. As for the mythical spirit, he wanted it himself, so he would definitely not sell it. However, Shantian Yuanbao can be sold. In addition, he can also use the Eternal Rule Disc to fuse a high-quality or top-quality Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule item, which can definitely sell for a lot of money. This day, Yi Tian sent a duplicate body to the ancient country, and sent a large number of innate treasures. Afterwards, Yi Tian came to find Luo Wushwang. Pavilion Master, I have a batch of innate treasures in my hand, Suadu Tian Shuechun. Yi Tian said. He didn't know any power, so it was difficult to sell so many innate treasures at once, so it would be more convenient to find Luo Wushwang. It is good, Luo Wushwang agreed, but when she saw the Shantian Yuanbao that Yi Tian took out, she was still shocked, the quantity was quite large. In the ancient kingdom, the price of a piece of innate original treasure is estimated to be around 10,000 ancient coins, and Yi Tian took out more than 100 pieces of innate original treasure, which is equivalent to more than 3 million ancient coins. Even today's Luoxia Pavilion can only take out more than 10 million ancient coins at most, which is the limit. But thinking of Yi Tian's strength, Luo Wushwang is not surprised. It is not surprising that such a strong man possesses so many innate treasures. In the following days, Luo Wushwang used Luoxia Pavilion to dispose of these innate treasures, and collected more than 3.2 million ancient strikes for Yi Tian. In this way, Yi Tian in the ancient kingdom can be regarded as an incomparably rich and eternal Taoist. Some years passed, and the auction was about to begin. Augustus. Yi Tian and Luo Wushhuang came here. This is the capital of the ancient kingdom, and it is also the core place. Here, even in the Eternal to Tao realm, there are quite a few, and Eternal to Taoist powerhouses can be seen everywhere. This time, there are not a few Eternal Supreme Tao realms participating in the auction. Chapter 2948 Yi Tian and #039, S auction item. After coming here, Yi Tian and Luo Wushhuang kept a low profile. And at this time, Yi Tian truly lamented the power of the ancient kingdom for the first time. Powers like Luoxia Pavilion are inconspicuous in the ancient kingdom, and even the Quangfeng Chamber of Commerce is only a middle-level power in the ancient kingdom. The number one force in the ancient country is naturally the ancient king, and his eternity to the Taoist realm has 3 digits. Followed by those top forces in the ancient kingdom, at least there are double-digit eternal Tao realm. It is conceivable how many eternal realms there are in the ancient kingdom. After entering the ancient capital, Yi Tian began to take out a high-level Eternal Sequence Supreme Rule item that he synthesized during this period. This is a batch of high-level First-Order Supreme Rule items that he bought, and then synthesized using the Eternal Rule Disc. Although the side effects are serious, they can still be eliminated. Therefore, such items of Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule are of high value, and there will definitely be many Eternal Supreme Taoists who will bid for the auction. Subsequently, he came to the auction house and sent this Eternal Sequence to Tao Rule item for auction. After some time, the auction is about to start. Yi Tian and Luo Wushhuang entered the auction venue. This auction venue is large enough to accommodate 100,000 people without any problem, and every Eternal to Taoist who enters here can have a void seat, and the seat has a delicious heaven and earth spirit fruit supply. Yi Tian and Luo Wushhuang sat on 2 empty seats close to each other. And around the venue, there are also empty palaces. These palaces are protected by dense arrays, and even the will of the eternal Tao realm can't penetrate it. The strong ones. Ordinary eternal realm is not eligible to enter. Soon, this place was full of eternal and Taoist powerhouses. 100,000 eternal and Taoist powers, this is just an ancient country. Yi Tian was secretly surprised. In addition to the ancient kingdom, there seemed to be other countries. It is conceivable how many eternal and Taoized powerhouses there are in this world, but there are only a few eternal and Taoized powerhouses in the void domain. This is not just a question of resources, but more of a question of inheritance. There is not even the secret art of eternity to Taoism in the imaginary domain, but there are many here. Small forces like Luoxia Pavilion all have the light of Luoxia. The aspect of inheritance alone is far beyond the imaginary domain. Soon, the auction has started. An eternal supreme Taoist appeared in person to preside over this auction, which shows the seriousness of this auction. The first auction item, the medium-level mythical spiritual object Wanling Golden Grass, the starting price is 60,000 ancient coins. Yi Tian was also quite surprised when the mid-level mythical spiritual creature Myriad Spirits Golden Grass appeared. Because the quality of this mythical spirit is quite good, at least it can be ranked in the top 20 among the mythical spirits in the Valley of Myths, but it is the first auction in such an auction. It seems that the items that can be sent for auction in this kind of auction are all good things. Ordinary treasures can't be listed at all. Yi Tian thought to himself. Many eternal to Taoists are still very interested in the Wanling Golden Grass, and they have participated in the auction one after another. In the end, a strong man from eternity to late-stage Taoization won the auction at a price of 160,000 ancient coins. Soon, the second auction item will come in the morning. The auctioneer said. The second auction item, the Immortal Stone, the innate original treasure, can keep an eternal to Tao powerhouse resurrected once. It is useless to the eternal to Tao realm, and it cannot be revived if it is killed by the eternal to Tao realm. The starting price 100,000 ancient coins. Treasures that can be resurrected are of high value. Although he was killed by the eternal to Tao realm, he could not be resurrected with this innate original treasure, but he could be resurrected once if he was killed by the eternal to Taoist. Under normal circumstances, many eternal to Tao powerhouses will not offend eternal to Tao realm, at most they will offend eternal to Tao powerhouses of the same level. Therefore, this innate original treasure is equal to an extra life. Then, a large number of eternal to Taoized powerhouses are bidding frantically. Yi Tian did not participate in the auction. This kind of innate original treasure is useless to him. And Shu Yu is not in any danger now, and his children and wives don't need it either. However, the final transaction price of this Shantian original treasure was exaggerated, reaching a full 42 Fangaugu city. Next, a variety of treasures were auctioned, among them treasures that were no less than 1 million ancient coins. The next auction item is the eternal heart fruit, which can heal all injuries from eternity to Tao, and even heal fatal injuries caused by eternity to Tao. The starting price is 1.2 million Ao 576. 0 Seeking flowers 00. Seeing this auction item, Luo Wushwang was excited, it was exactly what she needed. With this eternal heart fruit, she can heal her grandfather Xinghai. Then, she entered the auction, 1.3 million ancient coins. 1.5 million ancient coins. 180 August coins. Gradually, this eternal heart fruit gradually soared to nearly 3 million ancient coins. 2.96 million ancient coins. Luo Wushwang asked the price. At this time, no one continued to bid. In the end, eternal heart fell into Lu Wuzhang's hands. Seeing this, Luo Wushwang finally breathed a sigh of relief. However, the eternal heart fruit may not be able to completely heal Xinghai's injury. If possible, she would like to bid for similar items again. Soon, Yi Tian's auction item, waiting for the eternal Zidao rule item to come in the morning. The next thing is a high-quality eternal sequence supreme rule item, with a starting price of 2 million Austrian coins. Said the auctioneer. As soon as they heard that it was a high-quality eternal sequence supreme Dao rule item, many eternal supreme Dao transformation powerhouses were moved. You must know that in the ancient kingdom, many eternal to Dao powerhouses who comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence to the Dao did not actually comprehend them through the items of the eternal sequence to the Dao rule, but relied on various treasures and endless years. Understand it little by little. If you can obtain high-quality eternal void supreme Dao rule items, you can easily comprehend the eternal sequence supreme Dao rule. In other words, a high-quality eternal sequence supreme Dao rule item can create a strong person in the late stage of eternal Dao transformation. Many forces are willing to spend such a high price to bid for one piece. As a result, representatives of one party's forces, are some powerful people from the eternity to the middle stage of Daoization with extremely rich wealth, all participated in the auction. 3,450,075. In the end, a strong person in the eternal supreme Dao realm directly bid 8 million ancient coins, bidding for this high-quality eternal sequence supreme Dao rule item 0. Chapter 2949 Sun Disk. More than 8 million Aogu coins, plus Yi Tian's current Aogu coins, have reached more than 10 million Aogu coins. With so many ancient coins, if he finds something good in the future, he will directly bid and spend all of them. However, so far, he has not encountered any treasures that make his heart flutter. Soon, other pieces of auction items were brought up for auction. Some are indeed useful to Yi Tian, but not to the extent of his heart. He has limited wealth, so naturally he will not bid randomly. Soon, an auction item attracted Yi Tian. The next item to be auctioned is an original treasure of eternity, the Sun Disk, which can deduce and perfect the secret technique of eternal wisdom. The success rate reaches 10%, but the top eternal to Daoization secret technique can make eternal to Daoization have a success rate of more than 30%, 263. In addition, there is a slight chance that Market Sun will be able to deduce his own eternal Dao seed. Of course, the Market Sun disk also has flaws. Every time it is activated, it will damage the foundation. It will take a lot of precious mythical spirits to heal it. Just after the auctioneer finished speaking, an eternal supreme Taoist sitting in the Void Palace said, "The Sun Disk has too many side effects. If you use it frequently, the side effects will continue to add up. The background is too serious. Even as eternal Dao realms dare not use it. The side effects are so great that it is hard to imagine." The auctioneer only mentioned it briefly, but many eternal supreme Dao realm present had heard of this eternal original treasure. The auctioneer said embarrassingly, "Although the side effect is not small, but its effect is also great. Now the starting price is 3 million ancient coins. Those in the eternal to Dao realm don't look down on the Market Sun discs, but there are still eternal to Daoists who are willing to bid, and they almost all bid on behalf of the forces behind them. For example, by sacrificing a batch of eternal to Dao transformation, causing their foundations to be damaged, and perfecting the eternal to Dao transformation secret art a little bit. After a long time, you can obtain a top eternal to Dao transformation secret art, which is quite good. As for those who are eternal and powerful, are they willing to sacrifice themselves? As long as the benefits are sufficient, they are willing to sacrifice. For example, some eternal to Dao powerhouses have damaged foundations and have no chance to break through the eternal to Dao realm, so it is okay to sacrifice their foundations a little. Therefore, these forces will go to bid for the Sun Disk. But those top forces don't lack the top eternal to Dao secret art, so they don't like it, and they won't bid for it. The Sun Disk, the eternal original treasure. Yi Tian has been in the ancient kingdom for a long time, and he also knows what the eternal original treasure is. It is a treasure that surpasses the innate original treasure. It is a treasure bred from a special treasure land, and its value is very high. Even the eternal Tao realm is eager to obtain an eternal original treasure. If it is said that the innate original treasure is suitable for the legendary to the Taoist realm, the mythical to the Taoist realm, and the eternal to the Taoist powerhouse, then the eternal original treasure is suitable for the eternal to the Taoist realm and the level of the king. Of course, it also depends on the role of eternal original treasure. Some eternal original treasures are very hot, and the value is not high, so naturally no one buys them for auction. But most of the eternal original treasures have extremely powerful abilities. The sun disk can deduce and perfect the secret art of eternity to Taoism, which is useful to me. It is nothing to me to damage the foundation. It is just a copy of the body. This eternal original treasure is very suitable for me. It must be taken. Yi Tian secretly thought. In addition, there is hope that the sun disk can deduce the eternal Tao seed, which makes him even more excited. He knows what the eternal Tao seed is, and after the eternal sequence to Tao rule has reached the perfect state, the next step is to condense the eternal Tao seed. It is said that those top eternal to Tao realm and the level of the country lord all have the eternal Tao seed. Therefore, if he breaks through to the eternal supreme Tao realm in the future, he will also have to condense the eternal Tao seed. The market sun disk is where the hope lies. 4 million ancient coins. Yi Tian also started bidding. Luo Wuxuang was surprised. Yi Tian, are you going to bid for the sun disk? This thing has a lot of side effects, you can't damage your own foundation. It is said that after using it many times, even the most powerful mythical spirit can't heal the foundation above. Its previous owner was a powerful eternal realm, and as a result, its foundation was damaged, and its cultivation level regressed. I see. Yi Tian didn't say much. And Luo Wuxuang didn't ask too much, she can't control what Yi Tian does, and she is not qualified to control. With the continuous quotation, the bidding price soared to nearly 10 million Austrian coins. At this time, many forces gave up. After all, you have to pay a lot of money to use the sun disk, and if you pay a lot of ancient coins, it's not worth it. In the end, there were only a few eternal to Taoist powerhouses still fighting for it. After Yi Tian quoted a high price of 11 million ancient coins, he never used ear canalization to compete with him again. In this way, Yi Tian bid for this sunshine disk. At this time, he was agitated, but superficially calm. To him, the sun disk is worth far more to him than other treasures, and this treasure alone is worthwhile to participate in the auction this time. For the next auction item, Yi Tian will watch the show, he didn't go to the auction, and he doesn't have many ancient coins. In the follow-up, there was an auction of eternal original treasure. A group of eternal realms went to bid for the auction. The scene was very fierce. There was even an eternal original treasure, and the bidding price soared to 30 million ancient coins. Only the eternal supreme Tao realm can be taken out, and it must be a relatively powerful eternal supreme Tao realm. At last, one finale item was brought out. It was a top-notch eternal supreme Tao divine weapon, which provoked several top-notch eternal supreme Tao realms to bid frantically, and the auction fetched a terrifying price of 300 million ancient coins. After the auction ended, Yi Tian went to pay 1.2 ancient coins, and took away his own auction item, Shu Sun Disk. Afterwards, he and Luo Wuxuang returned to Luotian City. On the way back, the void froze, and there was an eternal and Taoist powerhouse who used the innate original treasure to seal the void, and it was not an innate original treasure. Moreover, the person who shot was not one eternal to Taoist, but several. Swish swish swish, 6 powerhouses from eternity to late-stage Taoism appeared and intercepted Yi Tian and Luo Wuxuang. The auras of these 6 eternal to Tao powerhouses are very powerful, much stronger than those eternal to Tao powerhouses from the Gale Wind Chamber of Commerce. At this time, when Luo Wuxuang saw these 6 people, his expression changed immediately, especially one of them was the eternal to late Tao transformation powerhouse, and he was a well-known peak eternal to late Tao transformation powerhouse in the ancient kingdom. Chapter 2950 Shock the Eternal Realm. You are the eternal and Taoist powerhouses of Blood Lake Ridge, what are you going to do? Luo Wuxuang asked. The leader of the eternal to Tao transformation powerhouse is Shuihuling eternal to Tao transformation late-stage powerhouse, Mo Lin, who has reached the 100% realm of eternity to Tao transformation, and his strength is far beyond the average eternal to Tao transformation late-stage powerhouse. Even if his grandfather regained his strength, he was far from Mo Lin's opponent. Hand over the treasures you bid at the auction, Mo Lin threatened. Really? Luo Wuxuang guessed so. otherwise Luoxia Pavilion and forces like Shuihuling would have no communication at all, and the other party would not attack them. Blood Lake Ridge. Yi Tian has heard of this faction. It is not a big force in the ancient country, but it is much more powerful than the Galawind Merchant Guild. It has 3 Eternal to Dao realms, and there are more than 20 strong ones in the late stage of Eternal to Daoization. Roll, Yi Tian said coldly. Court death. Mo Lin and the others were angry and attacked directly. Immediately afterwards, they saw Yi Tian's terrifying strength. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Puff puff puff. 07. One after another, the threads of the eternal sequence and the rules of the Tao penetrated their bodies, and they were severely injured one by one. Mo Lin's strength is very strong. He is an eternal and Taoist who walks the path of being the strongest in the Tao, but he has only cultivated a kind of super mythical body, so his strength is not too strong, and he still can't stop Yi Tian with one click. Puff. Merlin was also hit hard. But Yi Tian didn't kill Mo Lin and the others, otherwise he wouldn't care, but Luoxia Pavilion would be in trouble. He doesn't want to leave Luoxia Pavilion just yet, there's no need to cause trouble. Go away, Yi Tian threatened. Mo Lin and the others fled directly, not daring to look back. Luoxia Pavilion also breathed a sigh of relief. If it wasn't for Yi Tian, she wouldn't even be able to bring back the auction items that she bid for this time. Soon after, they returned to Luotian City. After returning, Yi Tian went to retreat to practice, and Luo Wuxuang also used the things he got in the auction to heal Xinghai. Once Xinghai recovers from his injuries, at least his situation will be better. Even if Yi Tian leaves in the future, at least he can barely keep Rong Pavilion. The Disk of the Sun, you have to study this eternal original treasure first. Yi Tian murmured. However, people gave instructions for the Market Sun Disk, so it is easier to study. In the following days, Yi Tian will study the deduction ability of the Japanese disk. After a period of time, I barely researched it, and then I started to really use the sun disk. Let's deduce the eternal secret art of Luoxia's light. Yi Tian placed the Market Sun disk in the source of the body, and began to activate the Market Sun disk with the source. Boom! The sun disk started to rotate, and a strange force acted on the origin of the body, which brought a huge burden to the body, and even the origin was affected, which means it affected the foundation. But Yi Tian didn't care about the damage to the foundation at all, he kept using the sun disk to start deducing the light of Luoxia. Buzz buzz. With the continuous urging of the sun disk, the crazy deduction of the light of Luoxia, and the perfection of the light of Luoxia little by little, Yi Tian's foundation was gradually affected greatly, and his body couldn't bear it anymore. But he doesn't care at all. A long time has passed. This duplicate body of Yi Tian has been completely scrapped. So, he condensed a new duplicate body, annihilated the scrapped duplicate body, and continued to activate the sun disk. In this way, with the passage of time, Luoxia's light gradually perfected from the ordinary eternal to Taoization secret technique to the powerful eternal to Taoization secret technique, until after a long time, Luoxia's light perfected to the top eternal to Taoization secret technique degree of occultism. At this time, Yi Tian continued to deduce, striving to perfect Luoxia's light to the top level of eternal to Tao transformation secret art. Hundreds of thousands of Tao eras have passed. At this time, the light of Luoxia has been deduced by Yi Tian to the point where it is almost impossible to continue deduction and has reached its true potential limit. Cultivate the new Luoxia light and try the effect. Yi Tian urges the new Luoxia light, and the eternal sequence of Taoism rules forms a brand new Luoxia light, which is integrated into the body and quickly undergoes eternal Taoism. The effect is very good, at least 10 times the effect of the past. Yi Tian said excitedly. Compared with this brand new Luoxia's light, the past Luoxia's light is full of loopholes. Certainly, for many eternal to Taoists, the light of Luoxia in the past is already very good. Human domain. Yi Tian passed on the brand new Luoxia light to his wife and children, and spent a lot of money to buy high-grade or even top-quality items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules from the ancient kingdom, and sent them to Void Domain, so that his wife the sons and daughters comprehend the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way, and strive to comprehend the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way to a 100% perfect state as soon as possible. Only when the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way reaches the perfect state, can he use the high-quality items of the eternal sequence of the Supreme Way to let them comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence of the Supreme Way. In this way, they can step into the realm of eternity to late Taoization one after another. Hundreds of thousands of years passed until the Tao era. At this time, with the help of the new Luoxia light, Yi Tian's Eternal to Tao transformation progress has reached the 100% realm of Eternal to Tao transformation. Boom. At this moment, the 18 kinds of powerful mythical bodies are completely fused into one body, creating the most powerful eternal and Taoized body. Eternal to Tao is 100% realm, and the rules of Eternal sequence to Tao are 100% complete. Now I can go to the Eternal to Tao realm. 390 Yi Tian murmured. So on this day, Yi Tian hit the Eternal Supreme Tao realm in the Void realm. To attack the realm of Eternity to Tao, satisfy the 100% realm of Eternity to Tao, and comprehend the rules of Eternal sequence to Tao, then you can attack, but the success rate is different. Yi Tian's roots are basically terrifying, coupled with the comprehension of the 100% perfect Eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule, and now he has deduced the top Eternal Supreme Tao secret art, with a success rate of almost 100%. If he fails to break through, then no one can break through successfully. Let's start hitting. Yi Tian started to activate the new Luoxia light with the rules of the eternal sequence of the perfect state, stimulated the 100% perfect eternal Tao body with the light of Luoxia, and began to transform the original source in the body. Before eternity reaches the Tao realm, the origin is getting bigger and bigger, more and more majestic, as if it is endless. But at the moment of breakthrough, the source is constantly shrinking, gradually turning into the size of an apple. Boom. Yi Tian's metamorphosis successfully metamorphoses, constantly compressing more than 10 times every moment. Compress like crazy, compress again. Gradually, the huge and boundless origin gradually took shape, and gradually became smaller, until it became a small world, a hill, a plate, and finally the size of an apple. Chapter 2951 Division of Eternal Tao Species and Eternal Tao Body. Boom. The compression of the original source is completed, so that the body begins to transform. Yi Tian's physical fitness continued to skyrocket, and his coercion became more and more terrifying. Gradually, his aura suppressed even void territory was in turmoil. Congenital Origin Alliance. The first elder found the movement of the imaginary domain. After investigating, he naturally discovered the aura of Yi Tian's breakthrough. This is, quote, the first elder quickly shuttled past. Since Yi Tian broke through somewhere in the virtual domain, he did not break through in the human domain. After all, the personality of the human domain is too low, and breaking through can easily cause damage to the human domain. Therefore, the first old man didn't know who made the breakthrough at first. After approaching, he sensed a familiar aura. It's the elder Yi Tian, he has made a breakthrough. It's such a terrifying breath, as if a ray of breath can kill me countless times. This breath is too similar to King Qingyuan. This is a breakthrough to the eternal realm. The first senator was shocked. He never thought that Yi Tian would break through and become the eternal realm so quickly. He felt that if he didn't leave the imaginary domain, no matter how evil Yi Tian was, it would be difficult for him to break through to the eternal realm. After all, he lacked a lot of inheritance and resources. But now, Yi Tian broke his cognition. Gradually, more and more elders came here. When they learned that Yi Tian had broken through to the realm of eternity, they were all confused. After all, they don't even know what the eternal realm is. But the aura when Yi Tian broke through let them know that Yi Tian's strength was far beyond their imagination. From all over the imaginary domain, countless energies poured in, together with the various resources prepared by Yi Tian, they were swallowed into the body for refining. After a long time, he really broke through. Eternal to Tao realm, breakthrough. Yi Tian is also quite excited. In the entire imaginary domain, only he has reached this level. As soon as he broke through, the first elder came to ask for advice. Hall of Elders. Yi Tian sat with the first elder. The first elder asked for advice. Elder Yi Tian, have you broken through to the realm of eternity, right? Yes. Yi Tian nodded. The first elder asked. I want to know, have you left the virtual domain? Yi Tian was silent for a while, but still said truthfully, yes, I left the imaginary domain. After all, the first elder protected the Congenital Origin Alliance, which is also considered to have protected the human domain. If there was no first elder, human domain would have been destroyed long ago, and he would not even have a chance to grow. In this way, the first elder has a kindness to him, so he can't hide it. The first elder was very excited when he heard it. What is beyond the imaginary domain? Yi Tian said. Beyond the imaginary domain, there are countries one after another. From the mythical spirit territory at the core of the Valley of Myths, there is a crack leading to the ancient kingdom. The ancient kingdom is very powerful, controlled by the master of the ancient kingdom, and the ancient kingdom in addition to the kingdom, there are other kingdoms. But I have not heard of King Qingyuan, it may be a king in a very distant area. August Kingdom, the first veteran yearns for new students. Immediately, he asked a lot of information about the ancient kingdom, and Yi Tian also said it. When Yi Tian said that the ancient kingdom has a large number of eternal to Tao powerhouses, small forces all have eternal to Tao powerhouses, and many eternal to Tao powerhouses have a very difficult life, he was deeply moved. After much deliberation, he still decided not to go to the ancient kingdom. With his strength, going to the ancient kingdom, spending countless years at the bottom, joining a certain force, and being loyal to countless years, he may not be able to break through to the eternal realm. Moreover, there is no way to come back, and maybe one day he will die for a certain force. Rather than that, it would be better to stay in the congenital origin alliance. Yi Tian is not interested in the position of the first elder, he can continue to be the first elder, and if there is any problem with the virtual domain, Yi Tian, a strong man, will take care of it, so he doesn't need to worry about it. Why did he go to the ancient country to take risks and seek death? Maybe one day, Yi Tian will let go of the inheritance, and an eternal Tao realm will be born in void domain, and he will also be the first batch of beneficiaries. So, he won't go. The first elder is still a wise move. If he wants to go to the ancient kingdom, the eternal supreme Tao alone will be difficult for him. He can only join other forces and pledge his allegiance for a long time before he can hope to obtain the eternal supreme Tao. And even if he obtained the eternal to Tao secret art, it can only help him become a strong person in the late stage of eternal to Tao transformation, and there is still little hope of breaking through the eternal to Tao realm. Yi Tian murmured, therefore, it is the best choice not to go to the first patriarch. After Yi Tian broke through to the realm of eternity, his other duplicate bodies were also changed. Luoxia Valley. Yi Tian silently replaced his duplicate body with the duplicate body of eternal Tao realm, and restrained his aura so that the eternal Tao transformation powerhouse could not perceive his own realm. But you can't do it, once you do it, it will still be exposed. I have broken through to the eternal supreme Tao realm now, and the next step is to obtain the inheritance of the eternal supreme Tao realm, and I need to know what to do next. He had obtained sporadic information before, such as the eternal Tao seed, and the eternal Tao realm is divided into early, middle, late and peak, but it is not clear later. Luoxia Pavilion should have the inheritance information of eternal to Tao realm, after all, Luoxia Pavilion has eternal to Tao realm. Subsequently, he went to Luo Wushhuang and asked about it. Yi Tian, our Luoxia Pavilion does have the eternal Tao realm inheritance, but it's just a simple inheritance information. Luo Wushhuang said. Easy to do, Yi Tian is not demanding. Not long after, Luo Wushhuang passed on the inheritance information to Yi Tian. After Yi Tian browsed, there was a clear direction. The improvement of Yang Li's Hengji Dao realm is still divided into early, middle, late and peak realms, but in addition, the rules of the eternal sequence must be improved. Dao is a mand. The eternal Dao seed inheritance is extremely rare, and currently only the Aogu King has a complete eternal Dao fruit inheritance, and other top powers only have inferior eternal Dao seed inheritance at most, and there are various problems. The eternal Dao seeds are divided into inferior, low, medium, high and perfect eternal Dao seeds. It is said that the Emperor Aogu's eternal Dao seed is medium, even if it is medium, it is the envy of countless eternal Dao realms. After condensing the eternal Dao seed, you can condense the eternal Dao body, and your strength will be terribly improved. Only the eternal supreme Dao realm that condenses the eternal Dao body can be regarded as the top eternal supreme Dao realm. If there is no eternal Dao body in other eternal Daoist realms, even if the cultivation base reaches the peak state, the combat power will not be strong. Chapter 2952 9 Lake Mountain Token. The eternal Dao body is not only divided into grades, but also has 4 realms: entry level, small success, great success, and perfection. It is rumored that the eternal Taoist body of the ancient king has reached the realm of Dacheng, and his strength is extremely terrifying. It is necessary to deduce the eternal Dao seed. Even the top forces only have the inheritance of the second-class eternal Dao seed. Even if I join those top powers, it is impossible to obtain the eternal Dao seed inheritance. Now I can only rely on this eternal original treasure market yen plate. Yi Tian murmured. Therefore, Yi Tian began to use the sun market disc to deduce the eternal Dao seed in the following days. Of course, if you want to deduce the eternal Dao seed, you must at least have a little understanding. If you start from scratch, the difficulty must be almost against the sky, and the success rate is almost 0. In order to collect a little bit of information about the eternal Dao seed, he kept synthesizing pieces of high-level eternal sequence supreme Tao rule items to trade with chambers of commerce under top forces one by one in exchange for a little bit of information. Those materials are naturally not the eternal Tao seed, but there are a few words and incomplete information about the eternal Tao seed. It seems to be understood, but in fact there is no real content. But even so, the value of these materials is extremely expensive. A document, 2 documents, 450 10 documents. Gradually, Yi Tian acquired a lot of information about the eternal Tao, and had a sufficient understanding of the eternal Tao seed. Of course, it is impossible to create the eternal Tao seed based on these materials, but after he understands it, he can use the sun market disk to deduce the eternal Tao seed, and he has a clear direction. Start deduction. Yi Tian uses the market sun disk, the eternal sequence of the 100% perfect realm to reach the rules of the Tao, and continuously deduces it. However, until this duplicate body was scrapped, there were not many results. It seems that it will take a long time to deduce it. Yi Tian secretly thought, after all, there is only a glimmer of hope to launch the eternal Tao seed, and it is impossible to deduce it all at once. If it was deduced all at once, the Zuri disk would not have fallen into his hands. Unknowingly, 10 million Tao era years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian can only say that he has deduced some things a little bit, but he is still far away from truly deducing the eternal Tao seed. At least hundreds of millions of Tao era can be used as a unit to be able to deduce the eternal Tao seed. No wonder those in the eternal Tao realm are not interested in this thing. There must be many top forces who have owned the ruined sun disk, but after trying for countless years, there was no way to succeed, but a large number of eternal to Tao transformation powerhouses or eternal to Tao realm foundations were seriously damaged, so I gave up completely. Yi Tian secretly thought, Luoxia court, Xinghai has left the customs this time, and his injuries have all recovered. Grandfather, have you recovered from your injuries? Luo Wuxuang asked. It's recovered. Xinghai smiled, and immediately there was a powerful aura from his body, and there was no problem at all. Very good, Luo Wuxuang said excitedly. However, Xinghai still frowned and said, in order to heal my injury, the wealth of Luoxia Pavilion has dropped drastically, and we still have no way to solve the trouble. There are still many forces coveting the remaining wealth of Luoxia Pavilion. Environment, we can solve the trouble. Eternal to Tao realm, Luo Wuxuang also didn't think that her grandfather could break through successfully. If it was that easy to break through successfully, Xinghai would have done so long ago. Even after breaking through many times, there is no way to break through successfully, and this has been in the state of eternity to the late stage of Taoism. I will try to break through again. If the breakthrough fails, I must find a backer. Xinghai Dao, backer, who are we looking for? The Lord of Luotian, but we have nothing that the Lord of Luotian is interested in. He maintains the order of Luotian city and prevents people from attacking us. It is already good. It is impossible to take care of our property. Luo Wuxuang said. Xinghai suddenly became mysterious. Actually, your father left something that should allow the top forces to protect us, but I don't recommend looking for City Lord Luotian. It's just an ordinary eternal to the early stage of Tao realm, and it can't really be our backer. My father left something. What? Luo Wuxuang was curious. Xinghai took Luo Wuxuang to a treasure house at the headquarters of Luoxia Pavilion. This treasure house is very hidden and there are not many things. Xinghai took out a treasure from inside, which was a token. The token of Juhu Mountain. This token can let people go to Juhu Mountain. Xinghai Dao. What? It turned out to be the token of Juhu Mountain. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Luo Wuxuang was shocked. It is said that Juhu Mountain is the place of assessment for a top power, and that faction uses Juhu Mountain as the place of assessment. Once the assessment is passed, you can join them. That force is still extremely powerful and not too restrictive. Joining is only good, and there is no harm. But that force will send out some Juhushan tokens for a long time, and many Eternal Tao realms wanted to get a 9 Lakes Mountain token. With one token, you can try to enter 9 Lakes Mountain 9 times. This token can be used 3 more times. Xinghai Dao, your father used it once, but unfortunately the assessment failed. If the assessment is successful, join that faction. Even if your father dies, the other party will protect Luoxia Pavilion for a long time. Originally, I keep this token for your future use, but now it seems that it is very difficult to keep it. Grandfather, this 9 Lakes Mountain token is too precious. I think it's better not to trade it as much as possible, unless we are in a real desperate situation. And Yi Tian is still in our Luoxia Pavilion. Not too bad, Luo Wuxuang said. Mentioning Yi Tian, Xinghai frowned slightly and said, Yi Tian is too mysterious, we don't know him very well, and he is obviously only temporarily living in Luoxia Pavilion, and now we have no contract with him, so we can't completely rely on him. Quote. I understand, but until a decision is made, don't take out the 9 Lakes Mountain token. Luo Wuxuang said. Okay, Xinghai responded, maybe I have hope to break through. The years passed. More than 20 million years have passed since the Tao era, and Yi Tian used the market sun disk to deduce some results, at least he really saw hope. And in these long years, his cultivation base has also improved a little, but he is still in the early stage of the Eternal Tao realm, and it is still far away from the Eternal Tao realm middle stage. In addition, with his help, his wife, son, and daughter have all comprehended the rules of the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao, and have stepped into the late stage of Eternal Path Transformation. Chapter 2953 Come to Blood Lake Ridge and kill 3 Eternal Realms. Time flies. Another tens of millions of years have passed since the Tao era. The Eternal Tao Seed is hopeful to be created. If we deduce the inferior Eternal Tao Seed now, it may be deduced soon, but I must deduce the perfect Eternal Tao Seed. Yi Tian secretly thought, the perfect Eternal Tao Seed and the inferior Eternal Tao Seed are not the difference in power, but the problem of defects. There are more or less flaws and problems in the Eternal Tao under the perfect Eternal Tao Seed. Of course, the perfect Eternal Tao Seed will definitely be stronger. However, no matter how flawed the Eternal Tao Seed is, once it is successfully condensed, its strength will skyrocket. Therefore, many Eternal Supreme Tao realms want inferior Eternal Tao Seeds, and don't care about defects. Probably still need to deduce 100 million years to Tao era, and there is a high probability that the perfect Eternal Tao Seed can be deduced. Yi Tian murmured. He was not in a hurry, and performed silently. But, this day, something happened to Luoxia Pavilion. Luoxia Pavilion headquarters. Several senior executives were having a meeting together, and Qing also came. Shuihuling attacked our Luoxia Pavilion, and the remaining industries were attacked, and Xuanline Mountain was breached. Luo Wuxuang said. She was furious, but there was nothing she could do now. After all, Blood Lake Ridge is too powerful, much stronger than the Gallowin Chamber of Commerce. Everyone don't leave Luotian City recently. Luo Wuxuang said. Blood Lake Ridge. Yi Tian guessed that it might be the last time that he taught Shuihu Ridge's Eternal to Tao powerhouses, which led to Shuihu Ridge's idea of attacking Luoxia Pavilion. Of course, it was definitely not an idea that came up at the first time, but an idea that came into being gradually, and now the Eternal Realms of Blood Lake Ridge have agreed to such a decision. Leave this matter to me. Yi Tian said. Yi Tian, Shuihu Ridge has an eternal meaning. Luo Wuxuang said hastily. He was worried that Yi Tian would be reckless, and he would go directly to Shuihuling for trouble. In this case, the Eternal Supreme Tao realm of Blood Lake Ridge may not necessarily care about the rules of the Ancient Kingdom, and the Eternal Supreme Tao realm may directly attack him. Don't worry, I have a solution. Yi Tian said lightly. Luo Wuxuang's original intention was to find a top power as a backer and trade Wuhushan tokens. But now, Yi Tian said that there is a way, and she is going to wait. Subsequently, a duplicate body of Yi Tian went to Shuihuling to trouble him. In the Ancient Kingdom, there are no rules for fighting between the Eternal and the Taoist realms. As long as you don't kill the Eternal to the Taoist realm, you won't be punished. This rule is mainly to protect the Eternal Supreme Tao geniuses of some top forces, otherwise they will be assassinated by the Eternal Supreme Tao realm. But fighting and killing between Eternity and Tao realm, no matter how many people fall, the Ancient King will not care. Soon, Yi Tian came to Blood Lake Ridge. Shuihu Ridge occupies a territory as its own territory, and this territory is called Shuihu Ridge. This is a blood-colored lake, with an island in the middle of the lake, and palaces on the island. In addition, a large number of large formations are arranged here, all of which are arranged from Eternity to Tao realm. Yi Tian came to Blood Lake Ridge and shouted directly, "Get out!" The sound was loud and shattered the void. In Blood Lake Ridge, several Eternal to Taoists recognized Yi Tian. It's a powerhouse from Luoxia Pavilion who has reached the late stage of Taoism from Eternity. He was the one who heard us last time. Said an Eternal to Taoist powerhouse. Swish swish swish. A powerhouse named Eternal to Tao came out, but Yi Tian exuded the aura of Eternal to Tao. Immediately, these Eternal to Tao transformation powerhouses loosened up and retreated one by one. 3 chiefs, please. But at this time, the 3 Eternal Supreme Tao realms had already known, and they came out of the retreat one after another. The 3 Eternal realms of Blood Lake Ridge surrounded Yi Tian. Eternal to Tao realm, I didn't expect Luoxia Pavilion to give birth to an eternal to Tao realm. You should have joined Luoxia Pavilion not long ago. Strictly speaking, you don't have a deep relationship with Luoxia Pavilion. However, it depends on your excellency. For the sake of saving face, we don't have to take action against Luoxia Pavilion. This is a trivial matter, so let's forget it. The person speaking is Lord Blood Dragon, the leader of Blood Lake Ridge. Forget it. Yi Tian smiled and said, if you are dead, then forget about it. Hearing this, the three eternal realms were extremely angry. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Yi Tian fought against them. As soon as they fought, the faces of the three of them in the eternal Tao realm changed drastically. Yi Tian's physical body is too terrifying, and the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule has reached 100% perfection. 0. Ask for flowers. Boom. The three eternal Tao realms were defeated by a blow, and one of the eternal Tao realms, like an ant, was pierced by Yi Tian with a gun, and his body was instantly shattered to death. Spike. The other eternal Supreme Tao realm holds an eternal Supreme Tao divine weapon spear, casts the eternal sequence Supreme Tao supernatural power, instantly comes to Yi Tian, and stabs fiercely with the spear. However, his spear attack on Yi Tian was blocked by a series of eternal sequence Supreme Tao magical powers. The eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule of 100% perfect state is too powerful, making it difficult for the opponent's attack to take an inch. This spear is very good. I don't have the eternal Supreme Tao divine weapon yet. Yi Tian shattered the opponent's body with one punch, and then threw down this eternal Supreme Tao divine weapon. 0. In an instant, the two eternal Supreme Tao realm fell, and the remaining eternal Supreme Tao realm trembled all over. Forgive me, the eternal realm begged for mercy. However, Yi Tian would not let him go, otherwise he might cause trouble for himself. Wouldn't that be his own fault? Therefore, the other party must die. With Yi Tian's hand in his hand, the densely packed eternal sequence Supreme Tao rules wrapped it up layer by layer. No matter how much the opponent fought, they couldn't hold back Yi Tian's methods. Boom. This eternal Supreme Tao realm was directly crushed by Yi Tian. This eternal state is too weak. Yi Tian murmured. It seems that in the ancient kingdom, except for the eternal Supreme Tao realm of the top forces, the eternal Supreme Tao realm of these small and medium-sized forces are all ordinary eternal Supreme Tao realms, and they may not be able to beat the mythical spirit in the Valley of Myths. At this time, the group of eternal Tadaohua and other members of Blood Lake Ridge were trembling and terrified. The three leaders, who were invincible in their eyes, were unexpectedly easily killed by Yi Tian. What kind of monster is this? However, Yi Tian didn't kill them. It doesn't matter if he kills the three eternal Tadaoists, if he kills all of these eternal Tadaohuas, if there is a report from the eternal Tadaoist, the ancient kingdom will punish him. He didn't want to make trouble for himself. So, he left directly and returned to Luoxia Pavilion. After returning, Yi Tian said directly, the problem of Blood Lake Ridge has been solved. They won't trouble Lolei Pavilion again. Chapter 2954 Juhushan Assessment, False Taoist Secret Technique. Blood Lake Ridge problem solved. Luo Wushwang and Xinghai didn't quite understand what it meant. But soon, a piece of news came that shocked them all. The three eternal realms of Blood Lake Ridge have all fallen. When Luo Wushwang heard the news, he couldn't believe it at all, and further information was quickly passed on. It was Yi Tian who killed the three eternal realms, and it was a strong kill without any difficulty. It can be seen from this that Yi Tian's strength is far above the three eternal Taoists in Shuihuling. Yi Tian is the eternal realm. Luo Wushwang was shocked. If this is the case, then what Yi Tian said before was wrong. Yi Tian said that he joined Luoxia Pavilion before because of the light of Luoxia, but if it was for the light of Luoxia, then Yi Tian could not be in the eternal realm now. But before Yi Tian joined Luoxia Pavilion, he was in the 687 eternal realm, so why did he join Luoxia Pavilion? Could it be that Yi Tian knows that we have the 9 Lakes Mountain token? Luo Wushwang asked. Xinghai frowned slightly. It's not impossible. Your father obtained the 9 Lakes Mountain token and entered it once. Although he hid his identity, it doesn't mean that he didn't know about the eternal Tao realm. If Yi Tian knew about this matter, then it is not impossible to join the Luoxia Pavilion to find the 9 Lakes Mountain token. Then what to do? Luo Wushwang asked. Xinghai sighed and said, Yi Tian can easily kill the 3 eternal Taoists from Shuihuling, and he can definitely kill the Lord of Luotian City easily. If he really wants to snatch the 9 Lakes Mountain token, we have nothing to do. He this time deliberately showing strength, may be sending a signal. If we still pretend not to know, maybe he will act. Now, there is only one way, and that is to take the initiative to hand over the Juhushan token and cooperate with Yi Tian. For now, Yi Tian is still very kind, at least he won't take our 9 Lakes Mountain token for nothing. If he promises to protect us all the time, if he joins that mysterious force, we will have a backer. Grandfather, this is the only way. Luo Wushwang nodded. If Yi Tian heard this conversation, he would be absolutely speechless. He really didn't have this idea, and he didn't even know what the 9 Lakes Mountain token was. Pavilion Master, what do you need from me? Seeing Luo Wushwang coming, Yi Tian asked. After Luo Wushwang sat down, he said, Yi Tian, you joined Luoxia Pavilion with the Eternal Supreme Dao Realm Cultivation Base, is it for the 9 Lakes Mountain token? 9 Lakes token? Yi Tian looked confused. Pavilion Master, what is the token of 9 Lakes Mountain? Luo Wushwang was startled, guessing wrong. Then why did you join Luoxia Pavilion with the Eternal Supreme Dao Realm? Luo Wushwang was curious. Yi Tian knew that he was talking about Luoxia's light. Luo Wushwang definitely didn't believe it. After all, he broke through to the Eternal Realm in the Void Realm, and here he directly changed into a duplicate body, and there was no movement of the breakthrough. Then tell the truth. Actually, I did break through to the Eternal Realm. Yi Tian revealed. It's just that I'm a clone now, and my main body broke through to the Eternal Realm elsewhere. Then refined a clone of Eternal Dao Realm. Quote, it turned out to be like this. Luo Wushwang believed it a little. However, she revealed the matter of the 9 Lakes Mountain token. As long as Yi Tian went to inquire about it, he knew that the 9 Lakes Mountain token was useless to hide, so he could only continue to bite the bullet and cooperate with Yi Tian. Yi Tian, I want to cooperate with you. Luo Wushwang said. Oh, cooperation, tell me. Yi Tian is somewhat interested. Luo Wushwang said. Luoxia Pavilion has a 9 Lakes Mountain token. 9 Lakes Mountain is a test place for a mysterious power. Once you pass the test, you can join that mysterious power. That mysterious power is extremely mysterious. Even I don't know much about it. I only know that many top powers in the ancient country want the 9 Lakes Mountain token. And this power is very free, without any restrictions, and doesn't care about status. There are even rumors that the master of the ancient country is one of its members. 9 Lakes Mountain token. Yi Tian is interested. If he joins this big force, he can get more information. I'm afraid it will be difficult to pass the examination. Yi Tian asked. Yes. Luo Wushwang nodded. It is true that the general Eternal Realm cannot pass the test, but you, Yi Tian, may have hope. What do you want to exchange for the 9 Lakes Mountain token? Yi Tian asked. Luo Wushwang said. I hope you will protect Luoxia Pavilion forever. Protect Luoxia Pavilion forever. Yi Tian pondered for a while, and finally decided, in this way, if the Luoxia Pavilion does not have the Eternal Dao Realm, I will protect the Luoxia Pavilion forever. But after the Luoxia Pavilion is born in the Eternal Dao Realm, I will not shelter again, but I will give you some more resources as compensation. This resource should not be less than 50 million Austrian coins, how about it? It is good. Luo Wushwang agreed. Subsequently, Yi Tian signed an oath with Luo Wushwang, and Xinghai also came to witness. Then, Xinghai brought the 9 Lakes Mountain token. In this way, Yi Tian got a chance out of nowhere. Suddenly I got a 9 Lakes Mountain token. This is good luck. If I really joined that mysterious force and gained benefits, I will help Xingharo break into the Eternal Dao in the future. Go, Yi Tian decided. This token can allow him to enter Juhu Mountain 3 times, and it doesn't matter if he uses it once. Then, Yi Tian took the token of 9 Lakes Mountain and came directly to 9 Lakes Mountain. Juhu Mountain looks like 9 peaks, and there seems to be a sea of clouds between the peaks. However, this is just a false Juhu Mountain, and the real Juhu Mountain has to be opened with a token to enter. Yi Tian took out the 9 Lakes Mountain token, after urging it. In an instant, the token turned into a ray of light, enveloped him, and entered a mysterious place. This mysterious place is the real Juhu Mountain. In a lake, there are 9 phantoms of giant mountains all around, and each giant mountain is formed from the eternal sequence to the rule of Tao, containing endless mysteries. The assessment begins. Please comprehend the Jushin Mountain and realize the secret technique of the false Tao, and you will pass the assessment. The enlightenment time is 10 million to the Tao era. 10 million Supreme Tao era is not a long time, 0.6, and he has just beheaded the 3 eternal Supreme Tao realms in Shuihu Ridge, so naturally no force dares to provoke Luoxia Pavilion. Besides, he didn't think he needed 10 million Tao era years. Enlightenment. Yi Tian comprehended silently. Soon, he knew what the so-called false Taoist secret technique was. The Tao Seed secret art must be the use of the Tao Seed power after condensing the eternal Tao Seed, and the so-called false Tao Seed secret art is a technique that simulates creation without the Tao Seed, and possesses the mystery of the Tao Seed secret art, but the power is much worse. This type of technique is called the pseudo-Tao secret technique. If you don't understand the Tao species at all, and your understanding is not high, you will naturally fail the assessment. If he hadn't deduced the Taoist secret technique, he would be sure to create a second-class eternal Taoist now, otherwise he might not be sure to comprehend the false Taoist secret technique. Chapter 2955 Join the Nine Extremes League. The forces behind Juhu Mountain are incredible, and the requirements for just one assessment are so high. Yi Tian murmured. His interest in joining the forces behind Juhu Mountain has greatly increased now. Pass this test first, Yi Tian pondered silently. Although he was given 10 million Tao era years, he will pass the assessment in a short time. Time flies. About 300,000 years have passed since the Tao era, and Yi Tian has successfully comprehended a false Taoist secret technique. Buzz. A false Taoist secret technique was released by Yi Tian and presented perfectly. Congratulations on successfully passing the assessment and obtaining a bronze token of the Extreme Alliance. A bronze token appeared in Yi Tian's hand. Naturally, this is not ordinary bronze, but eternal bronze, an extremely precious material, but what is truly precious is the meaning represented by the bronze token of the Nine Extremes League, having it is equivalent to joining the Nine Extremes League. Juji League, the force behind Juhu Mountain is Juji League. Yi Tian held the bronze token, and saw that the bronze token automatically merged into his body. The next moment, countless messages poured into his soul will 07, which gave him a sufficient understanding of the Jujimeng. According to the message conveyed by the Bronze Order of the Juji League, the Juji League is a force built by the Lord of the Juji, with the purpose of communicating and trading with each other, and gradually developed into a loosely united force. Today, the Juji League has more than 30 rulers, and hundreds of thousands of eternal Tao realms, all over the major countries. Certainly, most of the members of the Juji League are still trained internally, such as the high-level heirs of the Juji League, etc. There are very few members of the Juji League recruited from the outside, and the requirements are extremely high. The Jujimeng has no fixed headquarters, after all, it is only a loose alliance organization. The purpose of the Nine Extremes Alliance is to exchange and trade, and it will also shelter the forces in it. For example, he has joined the Juji League in the name of Luoxia Pavilion, so the Juji League will protect Luoxia Pavilion, and if he encounters ordinary problems, the Juji League will give some help. But that's all. Of course, don't expect the Juji League to give Shaj too much help. The reason why many Eternal Tao realms are so crazy about joining the Nine Extremes League is because joining the Nine Extremes League can have the opportunity to exchange for the Eternal Tao Seed, and it is not a second-class Eternal Tao Seed, but an elementary or even a medium Eternal Tao Seed kind. No wonder Luo Wushwang said that many Eternal Supreme Tao realms long for the token of Juhu Mountain, and thought I came here for this treasure. However, for me, joining the Nine Extremes League also has many benefits, and I can get more inheritance knowledge. The Juji League is mainly based on transactions, and the transactions are carried out with Juji points. He just joined the Juji League, and only had 100 points initially, while the elementary Eternal Tao Seed needed 1 million Juji tax points. However, the second-class Eternal Tao Seed can be exchanged for only 10,000 points. The Nine Lakes Mountain Inheritance Land sent Yi Tian out. Immediately, Yi Tian left from here, but when he left, the Eternal Supreme Tao came to him. Except for the Eternal Supreme Tao realm of the top powers, the ordinary Eternal Supreme Tao realm obtained the Juhushan token. They have to be careful, hide their identities, find ways to escape when they come out, and dare not stay. But Yi Tian is not afraid. If someone in the Eternal Supreme Tao realm dares to attack him, he will be courting death. After joining the Nine Extremes League, even if he encounters the Eternal Supreme Tao realm whose strength far exceeds his own, he can ask for help. Every member of the Juji League has 3 chances to call for help, and the Eternal Supreme Tao realm who supports them can get Juji points, which will be paid by the Juji League. Therefore, in the area of the Ancient Kingdom, no force dared to attack and kill the members of the Juji League. Soon, the void distorted, and an eternal realm came out. This Eternal Supreme Tao realm is the peak of the Eternal Supreme Tao realm, but it has not condensed the Eternal Tao Seed. By copying talent, Yi Tian knew the other party's name. Open black lens bracket Chihai close black lens bracket. Chi stopped Yi Tian. Your Excellency came out of Juhu Mountain, you must have a token of Juhu Mountain in your hand, can you sell it to me? Roll. Yi Tian snorted coldly. Chi expression showed annoyance. He was a majestic Eternal Dao Realm peak powerhouse, a mere Eternal Dao Realm early guy dared to talk to him like that. Court death. Chi made a move. However, as soon as they fought, he was stunned. Boom. Chi was directly blown away, and an eternal original treasure on his body protected his body, but under the impact, his whole body was seriously injured. This is the Eternal to the early Dao Realm, the calendar is too scary. Chi trembled all over, it was the first time he met such a monstrous Eternal to early Dao Realm powerhouse. Just when Yi Tian was about to continue to kill, a green lotus in the void protected Chi, and Yi Tian's attack landed on the green lotus, but it didn't shake a bit. Eternal Dao Seed Secret Art. Yi Tian recognized it. Moreover, this is not a pseudo-Eternal Dao Seed secret technique, but a real Eternal Dao Seed secret technique. Naturally, this secret technique was not performed by Chi, but by other eternal realms. Wow! A young man walked out, his body was only cultivated to the late stage of Eternal Dao Realm, but his aura was extremely terrifying, exuding the power of Eternal Dao Body. This is a 010 Eternal Supreme Dao Realm expert who has condensed the Eternal Dao Seed and cultivated the Eternal Dao Body. Master Zue, this guy is the enemy of our Luli Mountain, please kill him. Chi said hastily. Get out, Zue said coldly. Are you using me to kill members of the Juji League? What, a member of the Juji League? Chi was stunned, only then did he realize that Yi Tian was actually a member of the 9 Extremes League. Because Zue is a member of the 9 Extremes League, he has soared into the sky, so he is extremely eager to get a 9 Lakes Mountain token. Unexpectedly, Yi Tian passed the examination. Members of the 9 Pole Alliance can perceive each other, but only when they are close can they know. Therefore, Yi Tian also knew that Zue was a member of the 9 Extremes League. Brother Dao, this time it's our Luli Mountain that's wrong, let's just let it go. Zue said. It is good, Yi Tian agreed. Still leaving, Zue kicked Chi violently, and directly sent Chi flying. Chi ran away in a hurry, not daring to stay here. Subsequently, Yi Tian communicated with Zue, and only then did he know that the news that he became a member of the 9 Pole League had spread. There were not many members joining the 9 Pole League in the Ancient Kingdom, and there was no Eternal Realm to join for a long time. So, after Zue knew the information, he was going to come over to have a look, and get acquainted by the way, but he came across such a thing. Chapter 2956 The Perfect Eternal Dao Seed, the Ruined Sun Dao Seed. Yi Tian chatted with Zue for a while. Before leaving, Zue said, Brother Yi Tian, if you have time in the future, you can come to Luli Mountain to find me. Okay, sure, Yi Tian replied. Subsequently, Snow River left. Lu Lishan, the top 10 powerful forces in the Ancient Kingdom. Yi Tian murmured. At this moment, he was still thinking about the Dao-type secret technique that Zue used before, which was much stronger than the Eternal Sequence Supreme Dao Divine ability, and even he couldn't shake that Dao-type secret technique. It can be seen how terrifying the strength is after condensing the Eternal Dao Seed and Eternal Dao Body. Luotian City. Yi Tian came back, and the first time Luo Wushwang came over curious to inquire. Yi Tian, you went to Juhu Mountain, did you pass the assessment? Luo Wushwang asked expectantly. Passed. Yi Tian nodded. Very good. Luo Wushwang was excited. Yi Tian joined that mysterious power, which means he brought a huge backer to Luoxia Pavilion. From now on, no force will come to trouble Yi Tian. Even if Yi Tian left, this shelter still exists for endless years. Next, Luoxia Pavilion publicized the news, which shocked everyone in the Ancient Kingdom. Certainly, it's just to make ordinary forces fearful. The real top forces, such as Lulishan, still don't care about Luoxia Pavilion. Unless Yi Tian's strength can reach a very strong level, they are worthy of Lulishan's fear. I have joined the Juji League, let's see if I can exchange 100 Juji points for some information about the Eternal Dao Seed, so that I can create the perfect Eternal Dao Seed faster. Subsequently, Yi Tian entered the 9 Extremes Void of the 9 Extremes League through the Bronze Token of the 9 Extremes League, where wills communicate and trade. If physical transactions are involved, they can be traded face to face. Soon, Yi Tian saw a lot of transactions of Eternal Dao Seed materials, but none of them were complete Eternal Dao Seeds. The real Eternal Dao Seed, even the inferior Eternal Dao Seed, has 10,090 points. And these materials are not very precious, many of them are 10 points or even a few points, and the slightly better ones are only a few tens of points. Yi Tian used up all 100 points and changed 5 documents. After getting these 5 pieces of information, Yi Tian found that the content involved in these materials was incomparably majestic, many times more perfect than the information he had traded in the hands of various major forces before. Apart from not involving the core content of the eternal Tao seed, these 5 materials contain others, which can be used for reference. For Yi Tian, the help is extremely great. With these few points of information, I am at least confident that in the 30 million Supreme Tao era, I will create a perfect eternal Tao seed. Yi Tian murmured. In addition, he also found that there are many good things and treasures that can be traded here, but they all need Wuji points, and some even cost tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of Juji points. And he is still a pauper. Hey, some members bought high-quality eternal sequence Sadao rule items, 500 Juji points apiece, the price is not bad. Yi Tian is going to integrate more high-quality eternal sequence to Dao rule items, so that he can exchange for an extra 9 extreme points. Certainly, there are not many members who buy high-quality eternal sequence supreme rule items, and they don't have too many points, so this kind of transaction can't be done too much. If you want to get a steady stream of Juji points through this kind of transaction, it's obviously impossible. Then, in the years that followed, Yi Tian bought high-quality first sequence supreme Dao rule items and fused them into eternal sequence supreme Dao rule items, while using the disc in the market to deduce the medical-grade eternal Dao species. In this way, the long years passed. Unknowingly, 30 million eternal to Dao era years have passed. This day, boom, after activating the market sun disk again, Yi Tian finally fully deduced the perfect eternal Dao seed. It's done. Yi Tian was extremely excited. This is the perfect level eternal Dao seed, the eternal Dao seed without any flaws. The eternal Dao seed deduced from the market sun disk is called the market sun Dao seed. Yi Tian murmured. After creating the Dao seed of the sun, he only needs to practice according to the Dao seed of the sun, and he can condense the Dao seed of the sun in his body. After that, he only needs to use the Dao seed of the sun to transform his body step by step, so that his body can become eternal Dao body. Certainly, if Taoist Ruins wants to transform his body into an eternal body, he still needs some resources and treasures to transform his body into an eternal body step by step. The transformation cannot be completed all at once, and the resources that need to be consumed are unimaginable. Especially the perfect level eternal body, the resources it consumes are even more terrifying. First, condense the Dao seeds of the ruins of the sun. Once the Daos of the sons of the ruins are condensed, you can deduce and create the secret technique of the Daos, and you can exert even stronger strength. Yi Tian sat cross-legged, and began to mobilize the rules of the eternal sequence of 100% perfect state, and began to condense little by little according to the cohesion method of the ruins of the sun. The years passed. The eternal sequence supreme Dao rule has undergone continuous structural condensation, and after hundreds of thousands of supreme Dao era years, it has finally successfully condensed the ruined sun Dao seed in the body. Boom! The power of the ruined sun Dao seed continuously radiates to the body, causing the body to begin to undergo slight changes, which is the beginning of the eternal Dao body. However, relying on the Dao seed of the ruins to transform the body slowly, it is impossible to completely complete the eternal Dao body from 100 trillion to the Dao era, and you must rely on resources and treasures. Successfully condense the Dao seed of the ruins, and then deduce the secret technique of creating the Dao seed. Yi Tian decided, of Zhao's, to make a decision. So, he spent some years, and with the help of the sun disk, he easily deduced a kind of secret technique. Dao seed secret technique, spear of the ruined sun. Open black lens bracket secret of Dao seeds, aurora of the ruins close black lens bracket. Dao seed secret technique, the sun of the ruins is not extinct cover. Dao seed secret technique, grip of the ruins. Open black lens bracket secret art of the Dao seed, the field of ruined sun close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket secret of Dao seeds, prisoner of ruined sun close black lens bracket. After creating and deducing these Taoist secret techniques, Yi Tian's strength has undergone earth-shaking changes. What I have condensed is the perfect eternal Dao. The Dao seed secret art I display must be more powerful. The next step is to carry out the body transformation of the eternal Dao. After the body of the eternal Dao is completely completed, it can be regarded as the real introduction to the eternal Dao body. After that, there are small successes, great accomplishments, and consummation realms, and the cultivation base has to be improved step by step. What should be cultivated? There's a lot of content. Yi Tian murmured. Chapter 2957 Eternal Tao Seed and Eternal Demon Seed. 9 Poles of Void. Yi Tian is also looking at various resources sold by other members of the Jujimeng that are helpful for the body of the Eternal Tao. 9 Life Profound Grass helps the Eternal Tao body to transform into a state of less than 30%, a plant of 300 Juji points. Xuanyang Ancient Liquid helps the Eternal Tao body to transform into a realm of less than 60%, a drop of 500 Juji points. Immortal Ancient Dragon Wood, helpful to eternity to the realm of less than 90% of Taoism, 3000 Juji points per cubic. Yi Tian looked at these resources and was shocked by their prices. These resources are too expensive, he has no way to exchange them. You have to find a way to earn points. Yi Tian secretly thought. After a period of time, Yi Tian synthesized an item of the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, and it was of high quality, and a member of the 9 Extremes League bought it. Open black lens bracket Aries close black lens bracket. Yi Tian contacted this member, because the other party purchased high-quality Eternal Sequence Tao Rule items, 590 points apiece. The wills of the two meet in Juji Void. Brother Aries, I have a high-quality Eternal Sequence Supreme Rule item in my hand, do you want it? Yi Tian asked. Yes, Aries said immediately. When will it be traded? Yi Tian asked. Available to trade at any time. 863. Aries said directly. Immediately, they discussed the location of the transaction, and then went to meet. Not long, they met in an area of the Ancient Kingdom, and traded high-quality Eternal Sequence Supreme Rule items face-to-face. In this way, Yi Tian obtained 500 Juji points. Buy a drop of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid and try it first. Yi Tian purchased a drop of Zanyang Ancient Liquid from another member. It is also the same way of face-to-face transactions, so that the authenticity of treasures can also be identified. Soon, the transaction was completed, and a drop of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid was obtained. Try the effect of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid. Yi Tian refined this drop of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid, and the Eternal Tao culture really improved rapidly. However, after a period of time, this drop of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid was exhausted, and the Eternal Tao body transformation was only raised from a trace to a level. 509 extreme points is the effect. How many 9 extreme points will be needed to buy enough resources to completely complete my Eternal Tao body? Yi Tian secretly thought. However, his Eternal Tao body is the Eternal Tao body of the perfect Eternal Tao seed, and the Eternal Tao body is naturally more difficult. In the next million years to the Tao era, Yi Tian successively traded 2 items of the Eternal Sequence to the Tao Rule, and bought 2 drops of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid, but the result was that the body of the Eternal Tao was raised to more than 2 points a little realm, not even a 3-point realm. I need a lot of Xuanyang Ancient Liquid. I can't trade enough Juji points just by relying on the items of the Eternal Sequence of the Supreme Tao, and there are not many members buying the items of the Eternal Sequence of the Supreme Tao. Yi Tian is going to use other methods to obtain Juji points. For example, many members of the Juji League are buying some precious things. If they find them, they can get a lot of Juji points from them. For example, the Lord Aogu has been buying a resource called Liuhu Gold, and it is a large amount of purchases. 1 piece of Ryahu Gold can get 2000 Juji points from the Lord Aogu. It can be seen how urgently the Aogu Kingdom Lord needs Ryahu Gold. Then, Yi Tian was inquiring about where there is Liuhu Gold, but when he was inquiring, Zue came to him in Juji Void. 9 Poles of Void. Brother Yi Tian, you should have seen the mission of Lord Aogu, and you want to collect Liuhu Gold to obtain Juji points. Zue asked. Yes, Yi Tian nodded. Brother Zue, do you know where there is Tonggu Gold? I know, Zue nodded, but I don't suggest you go there, it's too dangerous. Even the Eternal Ultimate Tao realm that has truly completed the Eternal Tao body, if you go there, you may perish. Where? Yi Tian was curious. Devil Seed Abyss. Zue said. The Devil's Abyss AHEB. What is that place? Yi Tian asked. Zue said. The Devil Seed Abyss is a forbidden place. The ancient country and dozens of surrounding countries are suppressing and blocking the Devil Seed Abyss. As for its origin, if you tell it, you may feel a little palpitating. It is those who practice incomplete or inferior Eternal Tao seeds, the result is too flawed, and the endless years have passed and there is no way to suppress the consequences, and they are finally backlashed by the Eternal Tao seeds, and these Eternal Tao realms eventually become Eternal Demon seeds. What? The Eternal Demon seed? Is it so dangerous to practice the Eternal Tao seed? Yi Tian was shocked. Yes, Zue said with emotion. Since the Eternal Tao seed can give us incomparably powerful strength, it will also lead us to a desperate situation. But even if we know the consequences, there will still be a lot of people who are passed on to the inferior demon seed. The eternal Tao realm is willing to practice. Only by mastering the strength can they have a higher status and power. No one wants to be an ant who is slaughtered at will. Of course, even the inferior eternal Tao seed has great flaws, but if it is really controlled, if you can self-destruct the eternal Tao seed, you will not be affected by the eternal Tao seed. But if you do this, you will never be able to cultivate the eternal Tao seed again, and you will even be extremely weak, and your combat power will not be as good as the ordinary eternal Tao seed environment. Even if you don't have the eternal Tao realm willing. Yi Tian said. Yes. Zhu Wei nodded. No one wants to weaken their strength countless times at once. They will take a gamble, but in the end they can't survive. The eternal Tao seed is demonized, and it becomes the eternal demon seed. He will also become an irrational killing eternal demon. For example, the ancient demon master, he cultivated a medium eternal demon, but he has lived for too long, and now he is very close to becoming an eternal demon, so he constantly needs collecting lake gold. Lake gold can suppress his eternal Tao seed problem. If there is enough lake gold, he will never have any problems. Is there no way to completely solve the problem of the eternal Tao seed? Yi Tian asked. Of course there is a way. Zhu Wei said. For example, if you cultivate the perfect Tao seed, but if you have the perfect Tao seed, you won't take out the perfect Tao seed at all. The second way is to go beyond eternity to the Tao realm, then you can completely control the eternal Tao seed. Even the most garbage eternal Tao seed can't make yourself demonized. I see. Yi Tian understood a little bit. Zhu Wei said again, you don't have to worry too much. Basically, if the eternal Tao body is transformed, even if it is a second-class eternal Tao seed, you don't have to worry about the eternal Tao seed. The higher the level of the eternal Tao body, or you can directly complete the eternal Tao body, those who are in the eternal Tao realm need to worry about this problem. Okay. Yi Tian nodded. In fact, he wasn't worried at all. After all, he was cultivating the perfect eternal Tao seed. It seems that the secrets of the perfect eternal Tao cannot be revealed, otherwise a group of terrifying existences will come to snatch my eternal Tao seed inheritance. Yi Tian thought to himself. Chapter 2958 Into the Abyss of Demons. In short, Yi Tian has to keep a low profile. Unless he has the strength to ignore other eternal supreme Tao realms, such as surpassing the eternal supreme Tao realm, he dares to expose his perfect eternal Tao seed. Brother Zhu Wei, is there Liuhu gold in the devil seed abyss? Yi Tian asked. Yes. Zhu Wei nodded. The devil seed abyss is a very strange treasure land, but this treasure land is too suitable for the eternal supreme Tao transformed by the eternal devil seed, so they just stay there and practice instinctively, and their strength is also great. It will gradually improve, and gradually, the abyss of demon seeds is very suitable for their survival, and even special changes have taken place. Like the Emperor of the Ancient Kingdom, the Eternal Tao realm has a big problem with the Eternal Tao seed, and he dare not enter the abyss of demon seeds at all, otherwise the Eternal Tao seed problem will be infinitely magnified, and it may even be transformed into a demon seed directly. So, the owner of Aogu took the acquisition method to acquire Changhu gold. Yi Tian said. Zhu Wei said. Now, Yi Tian understood. However, he does need Juji points, and he also needs the resources to allow himself to complete the eternal body. He must go to this demonic abyss. As for Shuihei's reminder, he naturally didn't care. After all, he is different from other eternal Tao realms. Other eternal Tao realms have only one life, but he has countless lives. The edge of the ancient kingdom, where it meets the ancient cloud kingdom, is where the demon seed abyss is located. A duplicate body of Yi Tian shuttled back and forth, and it took a while before he arrived here. When Yi Tian came here, he found that there were dense formations arranged here, and there were still some eternal Tao realms repairing the formations. Obviously, this place should have been breached not long ago, resulting in damage to the formation, which needs to be repaired. After Yi Tian came here, he directly revealed his identity as a member of the Nine Extremes League, and went in directly. If not, he would have to go through at least one level of review. After coming here, Yi Tian realized that the protection of the demon seed abyss is extremely strict. It has 3 defensive circles. The first defensive circle is often broken, and the second defensive circle may only be broken once in hundreds of millions of times. As for the third defensive circle, it is almost difficult to break through. But not long ago, the second defensive circle was broken, but the third defensive circle was not broken. Really, if the third defensive circle is broken, I am afraid that the heads of the Nine Extremes League will come here to stop these monsters. Yi Tian passed through the defensive circles, and then came to the entrance of the Devil's Abyss. Seen from the outside, the Demon Seed Abyss is pitch black. Even with Yi Tian's perception, he can't perceive too far away. On the first defensive circle, densely packed formations and many palaces and fortresses guarded this place, and a large number of eternal Supreme Tao realms have been stationed here for a long time. These eternal Supreme Tao realms are all eternal Supreme Tao realms from various countries, and they are all forcibly ordered to station here. Only a few of the eternal Tao realm came here on their own initiative. Yi Tian, for example, came here on his own initiative. Wow! Yi Tian directly entered the abyss of the Demon Seed, and then restrained his breath. The weakest monsters in the Demon Seed Abyss are estimated to be equivalent to the strong who have completed the eternal Tao body. The weakness of the demon species is that they cannot perform the secret arts of the Tao. After all, they have lost their wisdom. But even so, relying on the power of the Demon Seed, it can still display terrifying combat power. With my current strength, I'm afraid I can't kill two powerful monsters, I can only deal with the weakest monsters. Yi Tian secretly said. After all, he is a strong man who condenses the perfect level of eternal Taoism, and has deduced many secret techniques of Taoism. In addition, he is on the road of being the most powerful to Taoism. Now his body is extremely terrifying, and his strength is naturally no less than that of completing eternity. Tao body of the strong. But in the end what the combat effectiveness is, you have to try to know. Certainly, Yi Tian's goal is not these monsters, but to find treasure resources, which is his goal. The resources near the Demon Seed Abyss may have been found long ago. If you want to find good things, you must go deep into the Demon Seed Abyss. Yi Tian secretly thought. So, he continued to go deeper, stopped at a safer place, and then condensed a second duplicate body, so as to avoid having to send the duplicate body over after falling, which would easily expose his clone problem. Gradually, Yi Tian went deep into the abyss of demon seeds. Suddenly, Yi Tian encountered a demon seed. This demon is still in the shape of a human, but its appearance has changed drastically. It is extremely ferocious and exudes a black demon breath. 0. Seeking flowers. In addition to being unable to perform the Taoist secret technique, the power of the demon species seems to be stronger. This is blackening 3 times stronger and washing white weaker 3 points. Of course, if you don't know the Taoist secret technique, your combat effectiveness will drop significantly, and there will be no 3 times the blackness. Boom! Yi Tian started fighting with this demon. The field of ruins. The power of the eternal Tao seed turned into a domain, suppressing this demon seed. However, the speed and power of this monster is still terrifying. The prison of ruins. The domain shrank and turned into a prison to trap the demon. However, the opponent's strength was too terrifying, tearing apart the prison abruptly, and rushing directly to Yi Tian. Yi Tian condenses the spear of the ruins, and has the indestructible mask of the ruins on his body, and moves with the aurora of the ruins to fight with him. Boom! Under the continuous attack, this monster still resisted Yi Tian's attack, and Yi Tian's attack could not break the opponent's defense. This demon is not simple. It should be a second-class eternal Tao that cultivates, but the eternal Tao body has definitely reached the realm of Shaocheng. Now that the eternal Tao has been demonized, the body has become stronger, and it is absolutely comparable to the eternal Tao of the Great Realm. This monster can't hurt Yi Tian, but it's more troublesome for Yi Tian to kill him. Unless he has multiple copies of his body besieging him together, he can be killed. However, it is not necessary. Killing the demon species is no good, and it will waste time, and it may attract other demon species. Then, Yi Tian escaped directly with the aurora of the sun, and got rid of this demon. Soon, Yi Tian successfully got rid of the demon seed and left this place. After that, he looked around and found something good. 9 Profound Black Lotus. The 9 Profound Black Lotus grows on a black lake, exuding a dazzling black light. If he remembered correctly, the 9 Profound Black Lotus is worth 600 Juji points, and many eternal realms are being purchased. Wow! Yi Tian shuttled over and was about to capture Jushuan Hylian. Suddenly, a black dragon appeared and intercepted Yi Tian. Chapter 2959 The Rotten Breath of the Ancient King. This black dragon used to be an eternal realm, but now it has become a demon. Obviously, this is the Black Dragon's lair. If Yi Tian breaks into the Black Dragon's lair, he will naturally be attacked by him. However, the strength of this Black Dragon is not strong, not as good as the previous demon species. Boom! Yi Tian kept fighting with this, and after using the Market Sun to trap the opponent, he directly took the 9 Profound Black Lotus. Gone. Yi Tian left here, too lazy to kill this black dragon demon. In the days that followed, Yi Tian continued to search for various resources in the abyss of demon seeds, and gradually penetrated into the depths of the abyss of demon seeds. Here, the chances of encountering powerful demons are much higher, because in the depths of the abyss of demons, there is more energy suitable for the cultivation of demons, and those powerful demons will naturally stay there. It's just that occasionally the monsters want to rush out of the 843 abyss of the monsters, and those powerful monsters will come out, but the frequency of rushing out is not high. This is the 9 lives profound grass. Yi Tian saw a cyan grass somewhere in the demon seed abyss. It was the 9 lives mysterious grass. This is also a very good treasure, useful for the eternal supreme Tao realm with less than 30% of the eternal Tao body. A 9 life profound grass is worth 390 points, and there are 10 9 life profound grass here, which is worth 3,900 points. I have obtained so many Juji points in such a short period of time, what a bloody profit. I am afraid that it will be difficult for other Yongdao Daojing to get so many Juji points in a long time. Yi Tian secretly thought, but there are also many resources in the demonic abyss, but other eternal realms dare not come in at all. The top eternal Tao realm, the eternal Tao seed has a big problem, and is unwilling to enter the abyss of the demon seed, and the eternal Tao realm transformed into the eternal Tao body has no strength, and it is easy to fall. Therefore, there are too few eternal supreme Tao realms that really dare to enter. There are no magic seeds nearby. Yi Tian quickly picked the 10 9 lives profound grass, and then left quickly. He came to the outskirts of the abyss of demon seeds, sent these 9 life black grass to another duplicate body, and then continued to go deep into the abyss of demon seeds. Years passed, and another period of time passed. This day, Yi Tian encountered an extremely terrifying monster in the depths of the monster's abyss. Boom! The demon sits cross-legged on a mountain peak. When Yi Tian approached here, the opponent instantly locked onto Yi Tian. At this time, Yi Tian's copy body sensed it, but it was too late to escape. Swish! The monster leapt over in an instant, and patted Yi Tian with one hand. Yi Tian used the secret technique of the sun's indestructible mask, but this kind of secret technique was torn apart by the opponent like paper paste, and then his body was pierced and smashed by the opponent. The copy body was killed, and it was still instant kill. Yi Tian was shocked. The strength of this monster is too terrifying. It should be the kind of existence that has cultivated the eternal Taoist body to the perfect state. It's a pity that they couldn't escape the demonization in the end. It may be a certain country leader, even if it is not a country leader, its strength is comparable to a powerful country leader. Yi Tian secretly thought, with his current strength, there is still a big gap between him and such an existence. Even if he has completed the eternal Tao body, he is definitely not an opponent. This kind of existence is definitely on the road of being the strongest in the Tao, and the foundation is extremely strong. Even if the eternal Tao is a little worse, the gap will not be too big. The realm is enough to wipe everything away. The years passed. Yi Tian found more and more good things, among which there are many treasures that can help him refine the eternal body. Go out and practice for a while. Yi Tian came out from the Devil's Abyss. Subsequently, he traded some resources, including Liuhu gold. I saw that Yi Tian traded with an eternal supreme Tao realm, and both got 9 extreme points. This day, Yi Tian came to the capital of the ancient country and met the owner of the ancient country here. This is also the first time Yi Tian has met the Lord Aogu. The Aogu Kingdom Lord is a skinny old man with an extremely terrifying aura, but there are strands of decaying aura on his body, even mixed with a trace of demonic aura. Sure enough, the ancient king's eternal Tao seed has a big problem, and the eternal Tao seed is not far away from becoming a demon seed. It can be said that the archaic lord is currently almost in a desperate situation. Unless there is a heaven-defying opportunity, the chance of surpassing eternity to the Tao realm is almost zero. Now, the Aogu king can only be said to be delaying time. If he wanted not to be dragged down by the issue of the eternal Tao seed, he had to destroy the eternal Tao seed by himself, but after losing the eternal Tao seed, his strength was greatly reduced, and he was naturally not qualified to be the lord of the Aogu king. The ancient country was established by him, and he would definitely not want to let him give up the ancient king. Moreover, if he loses the eternal Tao seed, his strength will be weaker than the stronger eternal Tao realm. At that time, even his enemies would not let him go, and he might not even survive the next day. Therefore, the ancient king is also very distressed. Meet the lord of the ancient kingdom, Yi Tian said respectfully. Take out the Ryahu gold and trade it. The tone of the Lord Aogu was not very good. After all, the eternal Tao seed is a big problem, so it's no wonder he is in a good mood. Yes, Yi Tian took out pieces of Ryaku gold, which made the Aogu king reveal a trace of joy. You actually found 20 pieces of Ryaku gold, a total of 40,000 Juji points. I'll pass it on to you right away. Soon, Yi Tian received 40,000 Juji points, and the Aogu king also received 20 Liuhu gold. Subsequently, Yi Tian left the ancient capital and returned to Luotian city. In the following days, Yi Tian used these Juji points to buy more Xuanyang ancient liquid to refine his eternal Tao culture. Although it is difficult to incarnate the eternal Tao, Yi Tian's perfect grade eternal Tao seed refines these resources, and the refining effect is also very good, and there will be no sequelae 0.1. Naturally, it is crazy practice. Before you know it, tens of millions of Tao era years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian's eternal Tao body has been promoted to the 32% realm. At this time, the resource of Xuanyang tongue liquid is useless to him. And although he found some resources in the abyss of demon seeds that would help him improve his eternal body, they were used up. I have to go to the demon seed abyss to find resources, otherwise the progress will be extremely slow, or even stagnant. Yi Tian secretly thought. So, he went to the abyss of the devil again. This time, many eternal Tao realms were a little curious about his arrival. After all, very few eternal Tao realms entered the abyss of demon seeds consecutively in a short period of time, which is too crazy. Certainly, they also dare not follow. Chapter 2960 The Plan of the Ancient King. Demon Seed Abyss. Yi Tian is familiar with the way when he came in this time, and he will naturally not go to the places he has been to before. Moreover, his current strength is much stronger than in the past, and his life-saving ability is naturally stronger. However, if he meets a top demon, he is still no match. Years passed, and another long period of time passed. Yi Tian gradually found a lot of treasure resources in the demon seed abyss that can help improve the body of the eternal Tao, and then came out again, trading resources with other eternal Tao realms to obtain the Emperor's Juji points. Then, continue to buy resources that help to improve the eternal Tao body, so as to improve your own eternal Tao body. That's it. Yi Tian's eternal Tao body has gradually increased from the 30% to 30% to 30% to 35% state. This day, Yi Tian's eternal Tao body has been promoted to 40% realm, and his strength has improved a lot. In addition, he also obtained a lot of resources that are helpful to improve his cultivation base. After refining one after another, his cultivation base has finally been raised to the middle stage of the eternal Tao realm. As the cultivation level increases, the strength naturally also increases. Augustus, the residence of the ancient king. The three eternal realms sat chatting and discussing an important event. And this place has been blocked by the Lord of the ancient kingdom, and no one is allowed to know the things here. The three eternal supreme Tao realms, apart from the Aogu kingdom master, the other two eternal supreme Tao realms are Chaohe Taoist master and Blood-Eye Taoist master. They are all extremely ancient eternal Tao realm. They all condense the medium eternal Tao seed, and they have all raised the eternal Tao body to the realm above Dacheng, and their strength is extremely powerful. Blood-Eyed Taoist, have you made any progress in summoning us this time? The Lord Augustus asked. Master Aogu, of course I have made new progress, otherwise I wouldn't have brought Taoist Chaohe to find you immediately. Taoist Blood-Eye said excitedly. I forced a resource from the eternal Tao realm to try that plan, and the other party successfully captured another eternal Tao seed of eternal Tao realm, and successfully transplanted. Successfully transplanted? The Lord Augustus was shocked and excited. Transplanting the eternal Tao seed is what the three of them have been doing. The three of them have big problems with their eternal Tao seeds. They don't have any confidence in surpassing the eternal Tao seed, and they don't want to destroy their eternal Tao seeds. In order to preserve their strength, they thought of another plan, which was to seize other eternal Tao seeds from the eternal Tao realm and replace their own eternal Tao seeds. However, the two eternal Tao seeds must be the same eternal Tao seed. For example, the master of the ancient kingdom cultivated the medium eternal Tao species, the true Yang Tao species. Therefore, he must seize other true Yang Tao seeds. Once this plan is successful, then you can seize other true Yang Tao seeds and replace your own true Yang Tao seeds. In this way, the problem of the eternal Tao seed can be solved, but it cannot be completely solved. At least it won't turn into a demon seed for a short period of time. If the problem of turning into a magic seed occurs again in the future, just replace it with a true Yang Tao seed. But, seizing the eternal Tao seed is a forbidden technique, and research has always been forbidden. But the three of them had no hope of surviving, so naturally they didn't care about this issue, so they studied it secretly. During the period, many eternal supreme Tao realms who committed crimes were arrested by them and secretly studied. But in the territory of the ancient country, it was completely managed by the owner of the ancient country, so the news naturally did not spread. Even if there were any mistakes, they could kill him. Master Blood Eye, is there any sequelae to the forbidden technique we recently studied? The Lord Augustus asked. There are sequelae. The blood-eyed Taoist nodded. That's why I came to discuss with you. After testing, the eternal Tao seed can be taken, and as long as the Tao seed is the same, it can be replaced. However, after the replacement, the eternal Tao seed can be replaced. The repulsion is very high, and the eternal Tao seed and the eternal Tao body are suddenly connected. It will be difficult for us to control the eternal Tao body, and for a long time, we will not be able to display our strength, or even show up, otherwise it will be easily exposed. Repulsion, there is a solution. The main road of the ancient country. Eternal Soul Eater, they said in unison, and this matter, only the ancient king can do it. Eternal Soul Eater needs to devour the bodies of 10,000 eternal Tao realm, and it can swallow all kinds of alien powers. There was once an eternal supreme Tao realm who used Eternal Soul Eater to master the power of monsters, and destroyed a top power, and was not repelled by the demonic power at all, and even had reason for a period of time. However, after a long time, his own willpower could not resist the demonic power, and he was eventually transformed by the demonic species. This incident happened in my ancient kingdom, so I also obtained the eternal soul devouring technique. The main road of the ancient country. Yes, and only you, the ancient master, can provide 10,000 eternal Tao realm. We can't get so many eternal Tao realm, I Tao master said. However, at this time, the lord of the ancient kingdom frowned. You should know that 10,000 eternal supreme Tao realms are not a small number. Once so many eternal supreme Tao realms are killed by me, the news will definitely leak out. In the ancient kingdom, there are still some. The eternal supreme Tao realm is a member of the 9 Extremes League, and there are some existences in the 9 Extremes League that even I dare not provoke 950. Moreover, 10,000 eternal supreme Tao realms are only enough for one of us to devour, and a total of 30,000 eternal supreme Tao realms are needed. Realm, how many great forces have to be destroyed? In the entire ancient kingdom, the number of eternal Tao realm is only about 100,000. Master Aogu, there is nothing we can do about it. The blood-eyed Taoist said helplessly, we must do this, otherwise you may become eternally Taoized in a short time. Even if you keep collecting Liuhu gold, the effect of gold is also getting worse and worse. How many billions of Tao era can you persist? 1 billion, or 10 billion? What is the meaning of this time for us? Blood-eyed Taoist, this matter must be done, but how to prevent us from being exposed is the most important thing. Once exposed, not only will I fall, but you will also not be able to live. Aogu said. At this time, Taoist Chao He said, I have one thing to pay attention to, that is to expose the abyss of the demons and let them break through the third defensive circle. Once some demons enter the ancient kingdom, we will take the opportunity to arrest 30,000 eternal souls. Tao realm, when the time comes, it can be avoided that it was killed by the demon species. It is normal for the demon species to turmoil and destroy 1 or 2 countries. What is the eternal Tao realm of the main city? We are not easy to expose. This plan is very ruthless. At that time, not only 30,000 eternal Tao realm will be killed by them, but countless eternal Taoist and mythical Taoist will be killed by the demons.